Yeah. And what if the one that always make you happy stuff makes you mad? Yeah. And what if your whole wide world come crashing down and make you cry? Yeah, yeah. And what if the ones you love the most, you see you and just pass you by? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Say you gotta take the time to love what you've got, what you got now. Yeah, yeah. Say you gotta take the time to cherish what you have, what you have now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just live life and love it, yeah. Just live life and love it, yeah. Just live life and love it. Just live life and love it, yeah. Just live life and love it, yeah. Just live life and love it, yeah. Just live life and love it. Just live life, live life.
I am a living testament and Jaja glory. But matter and Cuban now the story. Got the fire burning through the changes and the flores. Steady pace, nothing, never yet a hurry. I'm shaping my world with these tools that I choose. Opening gates with these vibes that I ooze. Conscious of the facts that I know my name too. And nothing under the sun new. A new world open to I. The lens are Rastafari. Taught me that the things with me the most you can't buy. Some will disagree and say me selling some pie, but everything will reveal that it's appointed time. Me say me grateful. All when me play it in full. Oh, not it grateful. No time to be hateful. No.
So you gotta take the time to love what you've got, what you got now. Yeah, yeah. So you gotta take the time to cherish what you have, what you have now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just live life and love it, yeah. Just live life and love it, yeah. Just live life and love it. Just live life and love it, yeah. Just live life and love it, yeah. Just live life and love it, yeah. Just live life and love it. Just live life, yeah. 'Cause it's you and I both know nothing really lasts forever. So I make every second, every minute count.
This is King Ali Baba, I represent for the International Morning Right Show, you know, told you. This is King Ali Baba, straight out to make money record, and I represent for what you don't know, the International Morning Right Show. Every Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with the five masterman like Gadite, see you, I told you. This is King Ali Baba, straight out to make money record, Jamaica, and I represent for what the International.
What you have now. Yeah, yeah. Hey, just live life and love it, yeah. Just live life and love it, yeah. Just live life and love it, yeah. Just live life and love it. You gotta just live life and be just live life and love it, yeah. Just live life.
Sleep over my soul. Sleep over my soul. Though the road in life gets rude, Jaja sleep over my soul. that's sweet over my soul. Bring it back, sweet over my soul. Sweet over my soul. Though the billows roll and tempests blow, Jah will sweep over my soul. Every day, every moment, I will sing a song of praise to Him.
I decree and declare, God, you granted them children supernatural strength and ability to fight, a good fight of faith. I decree and declare they are qualified to share in Jesus' inheritance. I decree and declare they are reconciled to God. I decree and declare they are firmly rooted, built up, and established in the faith. I decree and declare they are in steward of great wealth. I decree and declare they are an ambassador for Christ, the light of the world. I decree and declare healing power flows to lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. I decree and declare that they are anointed by God. I decree and declare there is a hedge of protection around them. I decree and declare they would never be broke a day of their life. I decree and declare God provide for them with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I decree and declare God equips them with multiple streams of income at a young age. I decree and declare God equips them with multiple multi-million-dollar ideas, inventions, and strategies. I decree and declare they are God representative in the earth realm. I decree and declare God gives them authority and power to expose Satan's tactics and overcome his attacks. I decree and declare no weapon formed against them shall prosper. I decree and declare they are healed by the stripes of Jesus Christ, from the crown of their head to the sole of their feet. I announce that you, God, who have blessed them. It is you, God, who have empowered them. It is not by their might, nor by their power, but by the Spirit of the Lord. When the enemy comes up a flood, you're going to lift up a standard against them. The word of the Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Hallelujah, God.
Sweep over my soul. Sweep over my soul. Though the billows roll and tempests blow, Jah will sweep over my soul. Every day, every moment, I will sing a song of praise to Him. Hail the King of Kings. Every day, I will rise. Every morning, I will sing. Every evening, I will lift my voice in praise. Oh Lord, sweep over my soul, sweep over my soul. Though the billows roll and tempests blow, sweep over my soul. I hear a voice is calling from somewhere out there. A voice is singing somewhere in my ear. And I know that I must rise and sing my
yes.
Sweep over my soul. Yeah. Get sending me, oh, get sending me. Yeah. Whoa, yeah.
Grand rising.
One of creation. And I say sing songs of redemption, songs of praise and win. Acclaiming my position in creation as the Son of the Almighty Jah. Beholding His glory, manifesting through I and I forever. Oh Lord, sweep over my soul.
Love and share, like and care, yes I. Subscribe. Grand rising to Michelle. Yes, over my soul. Spiritual wickedness in high and low places. This morning we have them under pressure. Let's go. trust in his holy word. I wonder if I can look on camera this morning, Father. Yes, hey, share the one to all our parents, them. Share them if you know a person where you're the one that touch me, the one that touch me, people. Trust in Yo, the one you hard, people. Cameraman, you can't bring me in, cameraman. You can't bring me in. Stay on the battlefield till I well, try bringing in the camera, you know? Yo, the one you hard, people. The one you hard. The one you broke my heart. The one you broke my heart, people. The one you broke up my heart. From yesterday, I can't stop shed water. I don't know what go on. The one you touch me. The one you touch me.
Live life already. Oh Jesus, man. No. No, you can't kill Leave her here. Come kill me! One left me, and left me daughter, and me grandpity them. Me they survive. Cause live life already. Oh, Jesus, man.
I will magnify you.
No!
Place no one beside you. Your breath gave me life this morning, so I will give my life to you. In all my ways, oh Lord, in every single thing glorify you. You promised to love me. I find myself unworthy of your grace. Your grace, nothing I've done to ever deserve your grace. Your grace, your grace, your grace, nothing I've done to ever deserve your grace. I find myself unworthy of when this world tries to take me. Your presence surrounds me, being a light in the darkness, pulling me and loving me. I know I don't deserve you, never could earn you, so I will sing your praises, Lord, because I'm grateful for your grace. Your grace, nothing I've done to ever deserve your grace. Your grace, your grace, your grace, nothing I've done to ever deserve your grace. I find myself unworthy of. Open our hearts, reserving our room for you.
Yes, I.
Presenting our lives, that's all we can give.
What is man that God is mindful of us? Yet still we act as if we are, you know?
Through the valley of the shadow of death, Lord, I have nothing.
What is man that God is mindful?
I have nothing to fear.
Yes, I. Some people suffering or hurting like this. Not living in the spirit of fear.
God has not given the spirit of fear.
Yes,
God has not given the spirit of fear, but that of love, that of love. Your grace, nothing I've done to ever deserve your grace. Your grace, your grace, your grace, nothing I've done to ever deserve your grace. I find myself unworthy of your grace.
find myself unworthy of
I
your
could
grace.
never earn it.
Yes, I.
I don't deserve it.
You're the one you're hard, people.
Your
The
grace.
one you're hard.
Oh, I find myself unworthy of your grace.
Yo, I say my name that got cry this morning, you know, because I think I cry enough last night. Yeah, I think I cry enough last night. But I can't stop crying. I can't stop crying because the one you touch me as a brother, it touched me as a uncle, it touched me as a father. Touch me, you know, touch me. And we get regular interaction with the people. We're going to Jamaica. We're going to the barnyard today. What is causing this madness? The madness that is taking over the globe. The madness that just won't stop. When you think that something can't get no worse, it become even more detrimental to our people. You know, we have to find a solution to this. To find a solution to this, because our people can't continue with them kind of killing your wagwan. No man, this oh you gonna murder a 2-year-old? Oh you gonna murder a 2-year-old? Walk through your mind. What's happening in your mind when you do this? I get some news last night and I don't even want to put up this dude here, because I'm not put up no picture for this dude, because this dude is mentally sick. I have a problem. You know? So we can't really give him the strength. But this morning I'm here because I can just imagine the mother state of mind right now. I find something that they sent to me this morning, and you know, the whole earth, the whole community, as far as the Jamaican community going, yeah, we're four children, 1 adult, a woman, and our 4 children just get cut down, taken out. And we are asked, why this senseless killing? Why this senseless killing of our people? This genocide where take place right now, and it's like nobody cares. Everybody just continue them cold-hearted. Them tell us, say, yo, I know my picnic, so no business. Can't be so cold-hearted, people. Cannot be so cold-hearted. We have work to do, and we have to continue the work. Now the story is coming. The story is coming from all angles right now. And you know, when I look at these beautiful little children, I remember my little youth. I remember my cousin and my nephew and my little people them. Then if we have cold-hearted people, the system breeding cold-hearted people like these, what do we expect as parents? As parents, we try to find comfort to say, well, people say it's coke him did want. People say he molest little girls. The circumstances as to what bring him to that point for murder the little pit of them. That is something where you can't find no reason for this dude to do this atrocity. But the phone line is going to open up here. The phone line will open up in the next 4 minutes. We can bring some solution to it, and we can try find out what's going on. I know that these things, it shake it to the core. And for me in particular as a parent, sometimes I kind of ask myself, say, yo, you bring a child into this world, and this child is, you know, your joy, and then just to lose your child like that, you know, to lose your child like that. May play a song for the mother, you know.
Faith and not in fear, oh God. And we thank you for that. We thank you, God, that your light shine in us in such a way, God, that men see our good work, that you in heaven is glorified, oh God, in and through our lives. And we bless you today. We give you thanks and give you praise, oh God. Continue to have your way in us, Holy Spirit. Do what we can't do, oh God. Go beyond man's ability and get all the glory. And we bless you today, Holy Spirit. And we give you thanks now. Yes, God. Miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Come on, let's declare it. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, you're the light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Oh, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper,
light in the darkness. My God,
that is who
you are. You are here,
touching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, turning lives around. Oh Lord, I worship you.
Yes, I
worship you. Yeah, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, Lord God, my God, that is who you are.
Yeah, the phone lines are open. 260-209-8730. We're gonna talk to a relative. We'll talk to a relative today, you know.
My God,
My God,
that is who you
that is who
are.
you are. That is who you are.
You are here.
You are here.
Mending broken hearts.
Yeah,
I worship you. Yeah, I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you.
Yeah, waymaker,
Miracle worker,
promise keeper,
light
in the darkness.
My God,
My God,
that is who you are. Oh,
am I my brother's keeper? Am I my brother's keeper?
miracle worker,
Am I my sister's keeper?
Lord, yeah. My God,
We are under attack from so many places.
that is who you are.
And now the children is under attack. The children is under attack.
Miracle worker,
When will we put a stop to this?
Lord, oh, my God, that is who you are. That is who you are.
Waymaker, miracle worker,
promise keeper, Lord,
keeper.
oh God. Nobody like you, Jesus. That is who you. Yeah, waymaker.
I want some mothers calling to them. I want some mothers. I want to talk to the woman them.
You're the same yesterday and forever.
Yeah, we are under attack, people. We're under attack, and this is we are attacking me. May not be so bad, but attacking our children, that's a no-no. That's a no-no.
Light in the darkness, my God. That is who you won't ever change. You're everything to me, Jesus. You tell me I am your own. Oh God, and I give you praise in this place.
My
today.
God, that is who you are.
Whoa,
Waymaker, promise keeper.
promise keeper.
Yeah, man, we have to deal with this,
Your
man.
light in the dark, my
4 little beautiful children,
that is who.
a mother.
Like you, Jesus.
No, sir, this not real. Am I alive in this time seeing these things? Yeah, man.
We bless you today.
Hold on. I think the phone line up, people.
Truly, Father God, there
me
is
just-
none like you today.
Let me just say grand
We just
rising.
thank you, God. We thank you for our neighbors today, oh God. We thank you for
Why, God, it's me, I tell you, man, I stop crying.
Jano,
It's
Jano,
sad, it's sad,
Jano.
it's sad.
Jano, Mr. People.
And
Continue, grand rising.
it's like, me not even want to see, me not even stop watch the video because me not stop cry like me know the people them still. But me I tell you, it, and then to think that it's your own family, a cousin will do it, it's sad, man.
Yeah.
It's sad, it's sad.
I have seen people transcend before. You know, I've heard about children transcended, but this one is the one ya just look, the one ya too real. It become right at our doorstep as a mother, as a father, as an uncle, to see the mother weeping and wailing.
The mother weeping, man. The mother weep, man. May I tell you.
Yeah.
Beautiful family. A beautiful family. And just gone like that. And why? When them all catch that person, and if him really do it, him not supposed to even go in a jail, I am. Me not lie. And him not supposed to just dead, so. Him supposed to torture. Me sorry to say that, but him supposed to get tortured.
You know, when I think, alright, a lot of people, I am upset at this dude who commit this atrocity. I am upset.
Brethren, we're not cooking show for NBC. I'll call you right back.
Alright, Mark.
In like
Alright.
15 minutes.
Yeah, that's touch back
Alright,
the dial,
cool.
man. We need it today. Yeah, that's Mark over NBC.
Yes.
I was saying that the death of this individual is something that we can discuss, but this is more than just an individual doing these things. There is a setting that is allowing our people to be heartless killers. There is a moral decay in our society that is seeing this atrocity hurting of our people, and they're capitalizing off of it, because this dude, I don't think him have no serial killer in his family, Michelle. I don't think him have no serial killer in his family. But this,
no, but you have to think about where was his mindset for you to it must have been so bloody, and for you to just slash through it and do this and all this. Your mindset have to be way out there for this for him. I don't know. It's just no love we don't have. I mean, now gonna come up with no God. I know it's no love. We not have no love in our heart.
I think we have a moral decay in our society, and we are not acknowledging it. We're not acknowledging. Huh?
I don't know what is happening. I'm not gonna blame no music. I'm not gonna blame. It's just the mentality of people know that we have in this world, that them sick. Me have to look upon them as a sick.
But what is making them sick, Michelle? What is making our people act like this?
Shit that we eat, and all the food where we are eat, all we have to all be careful of the water, them where we are drink, every goddamn thing. I'm telling you. And I'm not gonna blame it. Economy, shit. Me there, me out here, them medical bills and them thing, the hundreds of thousands, and me now go out go say me I'll kill off people just like that just because my economy are that is ridiculous. That's some sickness. That is sick.
Wow, this I saw the Prime Minister yesterday. You say you're not blaming the situation. I have situation also that I have to deal with. But as I was telling someone that in especially in the Caribbean, this single parent thing, it's come like a trend now. Children are growing children, and as you hear, this little 32-year-old girl have 5 children, 4 children.
4, right?
Yeah, and this cousin
3
now.
older ones is with a guy which leave her and come abroad, and then the youngest 23-month-old is with whoever she was with right now.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? But when me first hear them said domestic, me I said blood cleat are the last baby father do it. But when we realize that them I said the cousin is the person of interest, me I said, what? But it's a thing that my father grew us up until I came here at age 7.
Mm-hmm.
From 7 in the United States, my mother was a single mother with 4 kids. My mother worked at 2 and in fact 3 jobs until when she gets in her career as being a nurse.
Yeah.
And take care of us. We wasn't want for nothing because any program me the want for going on, my mother make sure that me in that program. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not gonna. Well, I would say back in those days, the 70s and them thing there, it probably was a bit easier.
We in the 70s community usually grow our children. I remember coming from school, and if I misbehave, my neighbor who live across my grandma's house passing seeing me would have straightened me up, and it wouldn't be a problem to grandma. Grandma would have said thank you, but now the parents cuss you.
The parents them cuss you, and the parents
left me pick me alone.
Are the same thing, what is happening in the school too. Because I remember even when I came from Jamaica and came here, my school that I used to go, public school that I used to go, we used to get paddled in that school too. Usually get paddled.
Mm-hmm.
If you're out of line, you have to bend over and you get a paddle. Okay? Back then too, guys, then we usually have patrols. I was even a patrol where if you jaywalk, you go to court, and them teach you about court from back then. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
You have a court in the school, and you have to take your punishment, whatever them decide that the punishment is going to be. That is what it is, because you jaywalk when you know you wasn't supposed to jaywalk in the middle of the street. You're supposed to go to the corner, to the light, or to a patrol for across the street and everything. But we don't have that no more. In our school and in our community, there's not that anymore. We used to have a thing named manpower. Okay? That summertime when you're out, you're a high school kid. When you're out of high school, you have a thing named manpower where they give you jobs in the summertime. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Where you have your little job, you do your thing, you do that, and you make your little money to say you have your little money to go back to buy your new clothes, to go back to school in September. And them things that cut out now. So you usually have the little old lady them where that sit down on them porch and them watch the neighborhood or watch the community and them things there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that no more. The little old lady in them house because them afraid.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. That I remember when I was growing up, you had elders in the community who they never usually fear the youth. Now I'm talking to elders and them tell me say, God, Me no want talk to them youth, they no cause them youth they will come eat my food. You know, ay.
No,
It is not
because you have the guns, you have the this, the guns that wasn't so prevalent back then, and all this violent. It wasn't prevalent like that, but no, it's like what them call them Generation Z,
mm-hmm.
a Z now or what have you. Them horrible. There's some horrible set of kids them that we are grow up.
But are we are create them monsters here?
Why? May I tell you? Because
Are we are
you
create
know
them monster here? Are we are create
you
them
have
monster here? Parents?
kids and then you have grandmothers that is only 20 something years old, and
Yes.
it's like I don't know. I don't know. I
No,
don't
but
know.
but but what I'm saying is, as much as I blame society for their shortfall, because when society make a parent of have jobs where them can't grow them picnic, you can't grow your child because you have two work. And then now, most of these homes don't have two parents in there. It's one
Well,
because the single parent thing become a badge of honor. You hear people are go around and say, I'm a single parent because the parent them, some of them, they're not committed to growing any child. They get a child out of socializing with someone and then get pregnant, and then this child end up become a burden to some of them and then left them along the wayside. I'm not saying that this individual was left along the wayside, but for a tropical paradise like the place they call Jamaica, where I grew up in, I remember the first time I saw a gruesome murder was when a man beheaded his wife in St. Mary, and I was a young child, and that not come out of my mind all. No. And I come live in a Kingston where I see people gun down people, And it's like instead of we have a line in our sand, now it's reaching our children now, Michelle. We're
because
killing picnic come like a norm now.
it's a normal thing. It's a trend, and every Jamaican will little island people them. Like I said, they are licky, and me will forever say that. Them feel like what America, England, and those places have them supposed to have it to and supposed to go on in a for them in our little island. You understand? We're not original no more. We're copycatters now. And this is what it is. We're doing copycatting things now instead of we being our original self or we usually be back in the days. When me grow up and like me say until 7 years old, I me never see them kind of things then because my father grew up until my mother came to the migrated before she brought us here. And within 4 years, she do her whatever she do, and she pull up four pitney one time. All four we come one time. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, me not used to them kind of violence. That violent, it was the, you know, and my mother have a four pitney them, and she never bring a man in the house. For say we are meet nobody else. She just work hard job and take care of pitney them and do what she have to do. Manifest what she have to manifest. You understand? By 1979, she bought her own house. Our house she bring in 1979, our first house she buy,
Mm-hmm.
and bring our pitney them and let we go through and them thing there. Boy, I may I tell you, like I said, Jamaica is too licky. Them think that war going in other countries supposed to go on in a for them own too. And that's how me see it.
Well, I respect your view as far as the insufficiency of our people or the inadequate opportunities of our people. I don't think it's their responsibility. We elect government to come out and be leaders by leading with moral leadership and leadership qualities that we as a people can look up to. I am not seeing no leadership in a Jamaica or no. I be a liar and thief, me I
You
see.
have to be careful about when you say leaders, and where that word leader come from. You,
Yeah.
you, you have to be careful about that
Yeah.
because when you talk about leadership,
Mm-hmm.
let me, the government now grow my picture there. The government never grow my youth them. You understand me?
Yeah.
It starts from within the house.
But it's not about government growing our children. Now
Well,
when
that
w-
is it.
when we have
Millions
when
look
we
on
have
it.
but
Look
when
on
we
it.
have but when we have community, when we have a society that needs to set an example, because if the pastor come in your yard and I tell you say go serve God, and you find out say him a rape people, you're not gonna serve no God. You're gonna figure more or less say yo you been con. You a
Yeah,
pastor tell you
but
not
that
to
don't
do
have nothing
something.
to do. That don't have nothing to do with saying what the preacher them do. Yeah, we know that them are do what them are do, but
Mm-hmm.
yet still it still starts from within the home. Because you see the thing about it is that you have the kids
Give me
them
a
know you
minute. Give me
can't
a
even if them out of hand you can't even lick them a certain way because the first thing them I say them all call child services on you or them sort of things there. Listen,
mm-hmm.
when we moved come to Florida, my youth just come at the time he was like what when he came here 10 or so or yeah around them age and him
Yeah.
get himself my neighborhood is a bunch of rednecks white folks so and them boys that white boys them usually hang around with
Mm-hmm.
and him go do something him do a thing where in my family and my community we not do them things there.
Yeah.
And may I tell you, it was one of his friends' mom that came and got him because my youth is a skateboarder. And then she come take my son out of the house, right?
Yeah.
Bring him out of the community, out of the community. I didn't know that that was what she was gonna do was leave the youth them to go do them skateboarding and whatever. And them go in our store and put something in our bag,
Yeah.
right? A store that we don't even go into. So you end up in that store that we don't even really know about because we just moved here in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
And when them go, may I tell you all the whole thing set up. When whatever happened, them let the white youth go. It was him, another black youth. His mother was from Trinidad, and the white youth. Them let the white youth go, and the mother pick up fair youth. Well, come pick up my youth.
Mm-hmm.
And bring fair youth home and didn't even call me and say such and such, such and such. And the police station called me. And when me go get my youth now, and me start draft him up and lick him up in front of the cops them when me go. Them look at me and tell me that they may arrest me if me, me a scold him in front of them. Them
Mm-hmm.
can't arrest me, can't do that in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I'm trying to say. They come in, they grow your kids. And the first thing them I tell you that them I call child services find you because I beat the kid a certain way or what have you. But it's life.
I agree,
This is
Michelle. I agree that we must grow our children. The community love to growing our children. It has deteriorated, and why the community usually have a sense of responsibility to our people was because the leaders was showing a sense of leadership also. We had people with integrity. If it wasn't even great, it was a little. Now we have leaders who blatantly lie. These young people are looking to say, if these people are such liars and criminal, what's stopping them from being the said as them? Our
because
society.
money runs the world.
Hmm?
Money runs the world. And all
Yeah, but
they are about
money run
is
the world. But at the same time, Michelle, morals. If
it's
I if
supposed to be moral. It's supposed to be moral, Gadites, but it's not anymore. It's about how much dollars them can make and where them can get out of it. Everybody have an agenda
Mhm.
behind what them a do. Me see you post up the youth, Andrea or whatever where him a talk. All
Yeah,
into me usually follow him a little bit.
yeah.
But after me realize that this youth have an agenda behind all the way him a do. You understand what me I try to say? It was the thing that him was supposed to get when this government going, probably them they promise him something and him never get it. So him a come out now and him a talk. It's about the dollars.
Yo, Michelle,
About the dollars.
Michelle, let me say this big and serious. You say if you not get get burned by the fire, you can't come do no testimony. As far as Andre go, Andre was inside the belly of the beast. And we need people who inside of the belly of the beast to come out and expose the nastiness of the beast. Because a long time, even if Andre have an agenda, he has come out from among that corruption where the dead.
Come out from it because them never let him in. Them never
Yep,
promised them.
but
Never
hold
give
on,
him
but hold on,
I bet
but
if him get it, he would not talk out.
no,
I bet
no,
if
no,
him
no, no.
get it, he
Michelle,
wouldn't be talking about.
yo, Michelle, let me say this to you. Just like when Saul was, he was going around chastise. He was one of the biggest person for the Romans, them, you know. Until in time, righteousness strike him. Him have to turn away. But he was the perfect sword to stick into the beast's heart. The corruptiveness of our leaders in Jamaica, especially Jamaica, we are too naive. We are so naive to the point where people are dying because you have politicians who make it so damn difficult for people to survive. And when people commit these atrocities now, our leaders come out and act. I go play the tape. I don't know what's happening in the country. What you mean by you don't know what happening in the country? Or you don't mean you don't know what happening in the country? When you have children who are graduate from schools who don't have a job, and the job where them a get can't pay a bus fare if you go to work. Hold on, man. I have to go get Willie on the line because Willie over Canada cry. Yo, parents, I want to call in to the cause I am not, the parents are to be blamed, but society has
Lost their way. Society lose them.
Society has accommodated these sort of nasty behavior. I'm going to play this tape from the crime minister, because I call him a crime minister. He's a criminal. You know what I mean? He has allowed the country to deteriorate both politically, and he has allowed the country to deteriorate in its social headings, because this 2 years people lock up and go cost we, you know. It's going to cost us.
Yeah.
It costs us 4 little baby and a mother. Not to mention, yesterday was one of the gruesome days in that island, and I can assure you that last night somebody get dead after the gruesome murder there. And the only solution our crime minister have to offer today is to declare a state of emergency. Like say, police can't solve poverty. Police can't solve crime. That is led to
The police them can't solve the crime because them don't even have the equipment. And
no,
them don't
but
even have the technology.
what caused criminality, my girl? What caused criminals? What breed criminality? Poverty.
Listen, we can't say poverty, and we can't say this, and we can't say that. But sometimes it's the mind of the people then. Because I can't call myself Porto.
No. Poverty no mean say you're poor, you know. Poverty no mean say you're poor. Me see people who live out of Riverton take the garbage where other people dump and make a life and a business out of it. But that is circumstances.
And that's the mind of
and then now when our leaders see we turn and still make blood out of stone, them turn back, they make it even harder again. Because they must say you're supposed to die. I don't believe that this crime minister should get up and have anything to say when these atrocities happen, because he is away in England making deals right now. He's away in England making deals right now. Will these deals benefit our natural people? When you go Jamaica now, the Chinese them own 3/4 them below much road and cut through the place and thief the earth. Can't go to China. And this idiot here charge our people. Police get shot and can't cross pan toll bridge. And them sitting here, I call themselves leader.
Yeah, we know that. But guess what now?
What? What?
It happen all over the world. I know all the
You wanna? Me know say
Who
what
are
happening in America, but I know, hey, Joe Biden brain is not my prime minister brain. It's not Andrew brain. We keep including everybody. I say, Lord, the world will come to an end and make them
me not
jackass
say that.
get off.
Me not say that. Me not say no world I come to no end.
Hold
Me
on,
not say that.
hold on, my lady. Me play this thing, yeah, people. Me start crying this morning, but them. I know tears of sadness. Me a cry, cause we are gonna overcome. We are gonna overcome. DJ, play the tape for me. Play the tape. Let me hear what I go on with
In
this.
the United Kingdom, where I was greeted with this terrible news, I'm certain that all Jamaica is grieving. I'm certain that all Jamaica is horrified and upset at this gruesome murder. It is the most gruesome crime that I can recall in recent times. The murder of a young woman and her 4 children. It is heartbreaking, heartrending. This kind of violence cannot be allowed to continue without a response, without action on the part of the government. The police commissioner and the Minister of National Security have both assured me that they have put all the resources in place to ensure that the perpetrator is caught. Already they have a suspect, a person of interest, and they have already good leads in capturing that person. This kind of murder, this kind of gruesome killing shows the lack of respect and dignity and sanctity of life. It really shows how violence, the ultimate violence that have taken life, has become entrenched in our society.
This is not just a domestic dispute. This murder represents an attack on our civility, an attack on our sensibilities, and it is an attack on our nation. The police, the Minister of National Security has assured me that they are going to be putting all the resources into ensuring that the perpetrator is caught and brought to justice. I want to express my deep sympathies to the family of young Kimisha and her children, and to let them know that the entire nation is praying for them and surrounding them with love and support. I think this is a point where all Jamaicans should reflect on the level of violence in the society and how we have come to normalize violence, and that each and every one of us, how we rear our children, how we interact with each other, how we conduct our social transactions, we must all turn away from violence as a means of resolving disputes and conflicts.
Burn them all, yeah. Blended. Oh.
Yeah, man, the phone line is gonna be active. Yeah, we have Maroon, we have the Maroons on the line right now. Michelle is also gonna be there. Willie, I'm coming over to you right now, Willie.
That them a let the people down. Have them holding on to throwing them a drown. And the leaders them a let the people down. They always let the people wear a frown. And the leaders them a let the people down.
Grand Rising, hold on, stop the music, stop it. Yeah, Grand Rising, Maroon Chief. What up? Grand Rising?
Grand Rising, King, Grand Rising, how are you?
Yes. Panama, how is Panama this morning?
Let me tell you.
Yes.
See, when I heard,
yes,
I'm not sure if you heard Natalio's speech yesterday.
Okay. Oh, this is the BVI I'm talking to. Sorry, I was dealing with something in Jamaica, but I will continue because Doctor, I've been trying to get you all long from the other day, and I can't seem to get you on my phone. I was like, whoa, the doctor has just dropped off the radar.
No, because I'm on ground fighting these vampires.
Yes. Yes.
Because the average man who is in these little areas who are not listening to radio or are not really paying attention, and they are just being brought misinformation by word of persons who already have been, have drank the Kool-Aid. You have to go into those places and blaze the fire so that the vampires can be exposed for what they are. So that's what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, as a matter of fact.
Now, let me bring my people up to scratch who are listening, because we were talking about a situation where a young man murdered four babies, and after murdering 4 babies, he murdered the mother of the 4 babies in Jamaica. But that was what we were talking about. But you're over in the British Virgin Islands, where I have been following also with what Natalida and his government is doing, and it's heartbreaking to see the BVI deteriorate into fairy tale land instead of facing the fact that we're under attack from the British. I hear you say, yeah, continue.
Well, if you notice what's happening with these mules that they have sitting in office, it's not even a fight. It's a rollover of the house slaves to bow before the master to carry out his orders.
Yes, quite so.
That's what we have. That's what we have going on now. Now, when you look at the different things that are being placed, you're now being, when I told persons, as soon as the white man takes over, when he comes with his colonialized system and his colonialized mindset to re-enslave you, the first thing he will do is increase fees everywhere he can and dissolve what he cannot control. It's been about a year that they've placed a white man over in the Department of Trade. Even before the COI came to a conclusion, even before they started their investigation, they have been strategically placing their people in key areas. And I pointed that out a long time ago, but persons keep saying, oh, why is this angry Rasta woman keep coming on the phone and making noise? Because you see, people like that have no spirit.
No spirit.
Empty.
No spirit or no vision.
They have zero. Now, one person messaged me and said to me, why isn't, are you listening to Total Radio? That was yesterday. I said, no. He said, well, Natalio is here talking about that he has been sent by the ancestors to lead the people in this time. Aren't you going to call? My answer is loud. No, my answer loud and clear was no, because the carcass that the vulture refuses to eat is already known to be poison for the rest of the meat eaters. We no longer give attention to dead souls.
Entity. A corpse of the ration. And when I talk about it, people tend to believe that I'm not hitting the nail on the head. But I think Suwande Uhuru is a disgrace to the ancestors. How dare
call this man Suwande?
Natalio is a disgrace, and people might when I talk, people say that Gadites is bitter because I know the inside details of these vampires. But how can I be bitter?
It's not that you are bitter. The ancestors keep crying out and using your vessel to speak. Because when they see these kind of things, it boils their blood, and they can't come and spit on these disgraceful people themselves. So they have mouthpieces that actually speaks out and shows people who these people are. When they come to talk about that they are putting things in place so that, we're doing what we can so the Constitution will not be dissolved. They refuse to admit that they already signed on the BVI to the UK since 2021. April 2021. When this man came and said that no change will ever come to pass unless the Constitution is dissolved, the institution that they themselves put so that the nation could fail, because they were waiting for it to crumble so they could come back and re-put their foot where they have always been driving the house slave. A lot of people were not, I made these things clear to people and no one listened.
No one listened. The educated person out there are well, because when I listen even Mitch this morning, Mitch, I keep saying Mitch is a bitch. You know what I mean? Because his father has run this religious organization for his own benefits. And they're a bunch of selfish people. And instead of saving the territory, they are digging into their rubbish more. You know, they figure more or less that the Europeans are going to be lenient with them and don't send them to the gallows. But I can assure them that they're going to go to the gallows.
The traitor of his own brother is killed in a more demeaning way than the fighter who is fighting for his rights.
Yes.
The traitor is always exposed first and laid bare before the people so that they could be seen as worthless. The enemy that I kept telling them, King, your enemy is not the one who's standing in parliament. These are the house slaves which have been given directives by the colonizer himself. Your problem is the colonizer.
Yes.
His natives, his laws, his institutions, the different bylaws by which he is going to allow, he is going to allow you to rule your own damn self. A man who have the spirit of vampires will come and tell you, a pure entity, wow, I will allow you, what I will allow you to say, what I will allow you to do, what I will allow you to do for your people. And no, you cannot do this for your people. And no, you cannot do this. And if you do this, it will be in breach of what I tell you can and cannot do. What a bunch of weak mules.
No backbone, no spinal cords.
Grand rising, lovely people.
Grand rising.
Grand rising, Emperor.
It up. I'm talking with the doctor and she don't mince her words. You know, the puppetry that is happening in the British Virgin Islands now is laughable by us in the outside world. The diasporas are laughing. Because when you hear when you hear Natalia get up and say that he was the one who suggested to the oppressors how much weight to put on our people's shoulder to carry, and the stipulations, I'm wondering if we don't say that these so-called leaders are suffering from Down syndromes.
Down syndromes, there's a second move. Down syndrome is
so what are we waiting on? What are we waiting on? What are we waiting on?
Better word. They want UK take over, so nobody cares.
Sister Etta, the UK is already running things. The only thing is that they put, like they've done before, I will take your people and put them on the forefront, and I will cause these people to put laws that are so stringent that you will want to murder them yourself. And when we now step in as the freaking Jesus Christ that they think they are, they're going to say, we have come to do this and do that. When you cry out, they will say, look, the laws that was placed by your own brother. The same way that they say we sold our own brothers into slavery, they will say your own brother placed these laws here. We're only abiding by what they gave, and we cannot change it.
Good morning, got right?
Yeah, Grand Rising, Kenny. Hold on. Yeah, what you said, Etta?
Grand Rising.
Listen, if you add somebody who don't shut up when them come on this chat and just chat bullshit, Etta hanging up for now.
Who talking bullshit?
Every time Wendy come on this line,
Wendy's not on this line.
As I tell you, okay,
this is Kenny. This is Kenny.
Oh, that's
right?
Kenny?
Yeah.
Somebody with common sense and wisdom and knowledge and understanding.
Yo, listen me. What we're having, because this morning is a wide scope. I have all of Jamaica on board to tell me what's going on with this 4 killing. But when the doctor send out a signal to me, I have to respond to her. The British Virgin Islands is a place that has great concern to me. And I think that we're in a fairy tale spiral role right now where I'm listening to all the radio and something to me here, Heritage, I make these politicians come and here come say. It's atrocious. It's utterly
very much
rubbish.
Very much. A lot of rubbish.
Yes, but why
especially this morning.
Kenny is on board. Grand Rising, Kenny. How you doing?
Yeah, you're here in the middle of the works. I saw the call coming in, and of course.
Yeah, thank you for accepting, man.
I realize your panel is on, so yeah, check a minute, you know.
Yeah. The increase that they're doing, Doctor, as far as trade license and exemption, cancellation, and somebody come out and said that we supposed to just take belongers off the table.
Yeah, there are persons who spoke that kind of ignorance this morning. You have persons saying that, and they never really touched much on the increase. When someone who is struggling as a small business, who is being helped by no one else but his own wisdom and guidance of the God within to do a service to help his people, is now being told that he has to cough up $1,500 to pay for what he paid for $150 the year before, is bullshit.
500.
Now,
say it again. Say it again. Say that again.
When you
say that again, Doctor, say it again.
When you are going to ask an entrepreneur, a small business, who is doing the work that the God wisdom within him has been given to help his people, you're going to ask him to cough up $1,500 to pay for a trade license that the year before he paid for $150 is absolute bullshit.
But
madness.
Kenny, you have a trade license. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think these crazy people are prepared to lock down the territory. I think that's what they want to do. And it's gonna happen. Fine style, and that's okay.
No, I don't think these people are prepared to lock down the territory. These people are prepared to lock themselves into a fairy tale until the UK start to enact and put, because the UK have people in place already, you know. As the doctor just rightfully say, you hear them nagging about immigration and these places. The UK has taken over the border and everything to deal with protection for the British Virgin Islands. So I don't know why we have these leaders going around as if they are the one implementing these things.
When I say lockdown, it needs to be understood, because when it is done, the people, the so-called natives of this land and immigrants who have made this place their home are currently being shut out of, 1, the economics, 2, ownership of land, 3, anything that makes sense in this place. And it is happening at the hand of the known, as we call him, Shawande, if that's the name.
Natalio.
That it is happening at his hand. He's actually, if he is not the one coming up with these ingenious ideas, which is absolutely a mockery to this territory, he is being used to cripple the territory in favor of whatever the crap that is said to happen. I don't know. But it's very obvious. It's very obvious that somebody's not thinking, and when the day is done, I could easily pack my bags, jump on a boat, and sail off. But what is going to happen here in this territory with the people who have dedicated their lives here, with children, with whatever else they have invested here, who have everything to lose?
King, I'll give you one thing. Natalio does not have a forward-thinking brain cell in any part of his empty head. What the wisdom he used to have that the ancestors tripped him of before he became the white man jackass does not have a forward-thinking brain cell left to actually implement any ideology to move anything forward.
You're right. Something is wrong with him. Something is happening. You're right. You're absolutely right.
The man has been zombified. He has been zombified.
He can't be a man who has been fighting for his people in this territory. I'm sure he's not.
Not at all. Mm-mm.
This man got stripped when the ancestors stripped him. The spirit realm that was open that evening, I watched this man get stripped. I called the radio show and told him myself. And I told him, way before he was even given the so-called seat he has now, I told him the ancestors are going to publicly shame and embarrass you before all. And that is exactly what is happening now.
When I speak, they must learn to listen. When I talk, they must learn to hear. No. This country is going to take such a downfall. A depression is going to set upon this country. And by God, they have allowed trickery to come and take place over these beautiful little islands that we call home. Because we took courage to stand up for freedom, righteousness, and justice.
Sister Etta, apart from them doing that, it's also a bunch of ego, because Natalio wants to be seen as I am and my government, and when I speak, don't answer. Hey, I wish I could meet this man under a piece of wood, the amount of stones he would get. Disgrace to your own people.
To your own, uttermost disgrace.
This is worse than selling out your people to get put on a slave ship.
Yep. But you know, people, when I hear this man talk about his legacy and how his father and grandfathers and all these people, I thought this man had some pride, but
no, you see, he could only talk about them, King, because even his grandfather wants to spit on him from where he is. These people no longer speak, neither do they appear in any form, not even in dream form to Natalio. Natalio is an empty head at this moment. He is actually food for the gods to be disgraced before our people.
Empty vessel right now.
I think I personally think that Natalia is a disgrace to our people. He's a disgrace.
And I heard them talk about how difficult it is and how they should be telling persons and their own brothers, their own brothers who the colonizers divided by giving us different flags, St. Lucia, Jamaica, St. Vincent, St. Kitts, Trinidad. They gave us different flags, but if you look at every time we speak about the culture of our people, we're all eating the same food and beating the same freaking drums. Wake up!
Listen, Doc. Here what you just said. Since Koto show the Messiah, Kekagro, Yoko the Mosita. Jeez. This morning, that came into my spirit,
Yes.
I quietly listening to the spirit speak to me. And the spirit said, "What they are trying to cripple their own kind."
Yeah, they said that because
stand up and fight against the injustice when they come on.
Yeah.
And I said, understand what they
Now because they fight their own, when you fight your brother who has eaten the same food as you, who has been beaten by the same slave master as you, when you now think that you are better than him because Massa
that's what the spirit said this morning
on the head. Because of that, you are ready to kill and murder your brother and leave him wanting and hungry because Massa has decided to pat you on the head. Now here's what's going to happen to you when you have become a traitor to your own bloodline. This will happen to you. When things begin to turn, the man that you will seek help from when the colonizer begins to dismantle you and chop off your hands and foot like Napoleon did to our people back in the Congo, you will cry and no help will come to you. You will ask other nations and no one will come. You will speak the spirit and it will not answer you because you have disgraced your own.
They have. I tell you, the spirit say, I tell you this man, you know. I say, what going on? And the spirit say, they're going to get a beating.
But as I said,
and then hear what the spirit say, no?
Yeah.
Who is going to fight for them when they kill their own people? Which are the St. Kitts, Nivision, Antiguan, Barbados, Jamaican, Santo Domingo, Haitian, the St. Martin, the whole chain, St. Vincent, Grenadiers. These are your strength. These are your stronghold brothers.
Now look at how they have divided it. And if you look well and you are watching within the things within the spirit, they took all the fighters and warriors and they dumped us in 3 different places. Then they took those of high priests and those who dealt only with the spirit and made everything that seemed to be normal and the illusion that they have created, the spirit man can break through, and things that you would not think could be possible with mortal eyes you see, they took them and dropped them somewhere else. Then the ones they realized that before they gave them a sweet, they would smile and say, yes, massa. They took all these jackasses and dropped them in the BVI.
Everyone took bagay.
When you talk these truths now, because as I listened Mitch this morning speak on Tola Radio, I was of the mind frame that this pretty talk where they keep giving to all the youths them, it's going to come back and bite them, because these youths, they are seeing that they have no substance. How can you tell your people that the best deal that you could get with the oppressors is to put more pressure on your people? That no make sense. And
look at this now. They say now that they're scrapping the belonger status.
Yes.
Okay, they want to revamp it. But one idiot young man, forgetting where his foreparents came from, they were in here, as I did a study. They were in here. They were all drop here from some place.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because all of them were here jumping on each other like a bunch of goats and impregnating their cousin and their sisters. We came and actually gave a balance.
Yeah, but all of the overseas territory from Cayman Islands to Anguilla was full of incest. Incest was killing them. A be handicapped picnic them usually get, truth be told. Be told, I be handicapped picnic right now. Them have some picnic around the back part around the school. Elmore Stout it name or the stool across there behind the Red Cross. I be handicapped picnic because father usually sleep with daughter. Yeah, auntie usually sleep with cousin. If you check it out, they're proud to say that everybody mix up in everybody, because the moral of these people that we're trying to get to is, my whole overstanding is, when these people find out that they're doing something wrong, they try to justify it, and that's what the problem is. You cannot justify the leaders them swear to the queen, then them break the queen law, then the queen say, you know, you have to either turn over me deal with it, you know. Me chastise.
But that's what is going to happen. Because they're going to put things so strict and high up on their pedestal that they can't handle. They're going to break.
It's already happening.
Okay, well, it's already happening.
You look at Natalia, who actually went ahead and told them, we're going to give you a report every 30 days. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. And they gave a bunch of strict deadlines that they know they could never keep. Now you did these things and you created that timeline without the people. It goes to show that this has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with us. It's about enslaving and controlling the population.
Yes. But
it's
you
about
don't
the
know how to go
slave.
about
It's
it.
about the driver being sent out to whip the freaking slaves to put them in order. So when I come, I can pass a match and watch them in the disciplinary areas where they're supposed to sneeze only if I ask them to. This is a bunch of jackasses who are calling themselves national unity and my government. People so enough to get slapped and put under the bush and whipped till they can't tie no more.
Can I simplify this for all of us?
Yeah.
I just sent a book. I just sent a book to you, my brother Gadites. I sent a book to Sister Etta as well. And you can share it with everyone else if you wish. When the day is done, the only way we are going to miss what is happening is if we don't read. I send the book is called The Most Dangerous Superstition. I don't know if any of you have read it before. But when you go through this book, if you're not ready for it mentally, don't start, because it's gonna blow your freaking mind, like literally blow your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is what this territory is. It's a blow mind if they can handle it. But many people will never wake up because they are the products that are being used to create this crap that's now. When you understand, it simplifies it in a way that you could actually help them to get it if they want to get it. Not many will. But the most dangerous superstition, I want you to read the book. Take the time and read it. I wouldn't even touch it because it is going to blow your mind. Remember, that's where we are. And until we wake the hell up, I keep hearing Sister Etta say it all the time, they need to wake up. Will we ever wake up? The psychology, this psychological, it is so deep that I am absolutely I'm flabbergasted by it, because I'm not sure if we will ever even get close to it.
But in such a damn deep sleep you hear. Whoa, the answer to them who don't have ears to listen
they have been
and eyes to see.
Yeah, they've been told that they're
designed to serve the purpose of the people. Government is not designed, was not designed, never will, never was. It never was. Of the people. The people wake the hell up. The people need to govern themselves. Decide what they want for themselves and stop depending on two politicians who have no interest in their well-being. That is simply where we are, and we're not seeing it.
I have a question for the panel. Now, for God's sake, if, for me, you married these Tolians, go to other countries, right? They date other people. If for bit now they pass them stupid laws they want to pass and try to put pressure on the people in from the outer wall, don't they realize it will have a triple effect when you go marry somebody outside and expect to have rights in them people country?
Let me burst your bubble. Let me burst your bubble.
What's their bubble?
Relationships will not work, and I tell you what won't work. The mindset locally is enough to screw up in a relationship any place in the world you put it. Period. It won't work. I can tell you now.
Repeat it again. You're breaking up.
The local mindset will screw up any relationship, any place in the world you put it. Them go marry people outside, they ain't gonna work. Because
but that's what happened. That's what they realize what they're doing. What is their fear of you doing belong a status to someone married? The Tolians are being benefit from the person that coming in with the wealth. And if they buy the land, all they have to do is educate the Tolian people, go to a lawyer and make sure put yourself in agreement that, boss, such and such a case, I have rights for here, I have rights for that. Don't put fear up and talk about, oh, you canceling belong a status because this and that. Bullshit!
Listen,
bullshit.
I am prepared to board the boat in the morning and sail out. You know why? Because until our people realize the value of the men and women they have among them on this land, to help them to become a better set of people, and number two, hold on. And number two, until immigrants get off their sordid asses and start suing them left, right, and center for exploitation and the bills that comes with it, it won't stop.
Correct.
Yeah, but not a lot of expatriates believe that the BVI is actually a saving grace for them. That when I remember when I just left the BVI, them tell me said the only place I could survive was in the BVI, and I try to tell people that even that work permit situation is nothing to be proud of. It's a form of slavery. These people have taken the oppressor's method and has made it into law. The overseas territories are actually slave-run plantation.
Well, I play the Joneses plantation thing the other night on the raw truth. I don't know who.
I saw it.
I want to make a point. I want to make a point here, brother, because and I'm speaking of myself. I don't know about everybody else, and some of us may not be as fortunate. But listen, when I came here in 2006, I didn't crawl out of some hole to come in this place.
Mm-hmm.
I left tens of acres of lands back home. I didn't come here look no food or beg nothing from nobody. I came here to make a contribution. But you're not from here, so you can't do this, you can't do it. Okay, fine. I came here loaded. Until now, I am still loaded. And they still see you as an alien because you're not from here. Okay, fine. Send me back home. I'm going back to my palace that I left.
Well, I gotta join you because every day I get cussed in my ass.
No, but I want to say this, that the deterioration of the British Virgin Islands is happening to itself by the foolish mechanism.
By its own people.
Yes.
You're right. By its own people. That's the problem.
But I keep on saying that.
Destroying the land. That is true. Absolutely.
I've been saying it all the time. They keep on complaining the outsider. Is your own people sold out this? You understand? Is your own people doing this? Right now, Tisha one they got he in charge, he leading, and look at the stupidness he doing. And he's feeling like he doing something good.
That's because but doctor, is he confident that he has a bunch of buffoons who will believe his utter rubbish, and that's why he's so confident that he's doing the right thing? Because his brother swears him to do the right thing, you know.
No, man, no. Let me tell you something, right? When I keep on telling people, when people gain power, the head does swell. It'll swell big. It swells so much it damages some of the vessels and the brains for thinking. Because they can't handle.
Sister,
they don't ask for.
Sister, all the garbage that was piling. Listen, I'm going to say it very nasty. All the crap that was packed into these people is now manifesting itself in the forms that it is. All the biases are going to come out. All the falsehood that was within them is now going to come out, because this is now the ultimate place to fulfill themselves.
Yeah, it was them at the time, so now they have the power to show the rule. You know, the real them. As they say, you don't know a partner till when you get involved. You might see them on the street, but it's when you're going to live with the person in the house, now you really know the truth.
Give them a key. Listen, Bishop Charlwell said it to me one day, sister, and I'm going to tell you this. Bishop Charlwell from Eastern, he's now probably in St. Thomas or someplace in the States. He said, if you want to control a man, if you want to know exactly what is happening, just give a man a little power and a bunch of keys, and that is it.
I see that happening for their department.
Call it a black man. You want to be a black man? Give him a little power and a bunch of keys.
Lord, I see that happening for life. They turn them black on them own workers. Lord have mercy.
A little power and a bunch of keys, and you watch the jackassism come out of them. It is very simple. So listen, if it's not in you, can't come out. That is what you're going to see. And it's going to get worse. You think you see nothing yet?
Wow.
Well, you see, it might get worse, but if we have people like myself who are able to speak up and say, listen, y'all going on the wrong route and the men are...
They are not, Etta, they are not listening, Etta. Let me tell you. Let me say this. If we could go through two hurricanes that has not yet, even until this very day, been categorized as to how strong they were, it destroyed all the materialistic things that they cherish. Etta, the Almighty was showing them a sign. Treat people good, and at a less than 3 years, these people go back to the said nastiness as to treating people like shit.
And when they tell them something else coming for them.
They have not. They have not
hurricane. They were back to it.
Let me hear the doctor.
They haven't even recovered from that yet. Because if you notice, everything that's happening to them, while they're being beaten by the white man, instead of turning back and fighting back, they have turned with their backs facing the white man and still trying to kill their brothers, which are amongst their midst. And I heard their statement this morning, and I said, when I head to the woods this afternoon, and I cry out to the spirits, I cannot cry for these people.
Aye. You just, boy, that one just, whoa.
Because before the hurricane came, and I noticed how badly they were treating people, I cried out to the earth and to the air. It didn't take less than, 6 months, the hurricane passed. And I told them that something would come that would shake them to their core. And if they don't turn and treat their brothers well, something else will come.
Gosh.
These.
As soon as they went back to their old ways, then the COI came. The COI has come. The white man is near. Your head is already on the block. All of these things are in place. You are still trying to murder your brother. When I head back into those woods and I cry out, I will not be crying for them anymore.
I stopped crying for them a long time because
no, and when I say crying, because Sister Etta gave he gave an illustration, because right now I am married to somebody from Kindergarten Bay right here in the DVI. So when they talk about things that they're going to remove belongership and all that kinds of stuff, let me tell you, from the day I married my husband, I said to him, well, not married, but when I came as one with the spirit of his ancestors, so that both lineages could come together, I said to him, I will never pledge to the Queen, and I will never take that oath. So as far as I am, where we are with the exemption, I can stop right there, because no one is going to have me bow under the Queen, and I will never place allegiance to her.
Yeah, but this are
when they came with that, that don't touch me at all.
When I listen to these leaders, these selected club members talk, these selected club members in the overseas territories make it seems like to live in their country is a blessings. They don't have a running river. The seawater that they're using is contaminated. They're killing themselves, They don't plant shit. They don't plant shit for themselves.
No,
you know what the spirit just said?
What I've been saying, plant. Even if it's a garden farm
gosh,
to feed
the spirit.
If each person feeds their family, then you will not have people stumbling and being dictated by every wind that blows. But these people here are lazy. They said this morning, persons don't have the skill set. People don't have the skill set. And people are coming in here and they're giving trade license. I have been here for 11 years going. And in what I do, I specialize in what I do. And I've been trying to train people for the past 10 years. No one wants to do it because it's too much work.
No, but
no one wants to do it.
Listen to me. You talk, the root, the love of money is the root to all evil, I was living in the British Virgin Islands and I had to pay someone from the British Virgin Islands close to $2,000 to get them look about a trade license, because the kind of trade license I wanted, the brother where did I try to stop me where the God take him out of me when he melee. A bad mind him on ZVCR, one of the most bad mind piece of shit me ever see on earth. Melee. God have to kill him, make him sit down in his seat and kill him, because this man was a thorn in our skin. And I had to pay a BVI person to get a trade license, because all these people respect is money. They do not, and I urge people who are listening to me on my program, before you run go buy a ticket to go anyone I oversee territory, whether it be Cayman Islands, whether it be British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, Bermuda, you must know that you will never get your rights in these places, because these people feel like they are doing you a favor when they allow you into their country to help them build their country. When I first went to the British Virgin Islands, these baboons, some of them couldn't even pronounce the word sky. They say sky. and tell me to leave them on. I said, this is not how you talk. I had to go to the radio station and bring up them etiquette. But when you help these people, they turn around and then bad mind, so you come to take with them up. Them never created, you know. Because
hold on, you know why? Because a lot of these people, and I will tell you a small little something about nature's little cigarette.
Like a cigarette, yes.
A lot of these people who are here that you see walking about, a bunch of coconut and Oreo, you know.
I know, the biggest. They love the Caucasian more than how they love their maroon brothers and sisters.
They just love the Caucasian.
Yes.
When you look up their bloodline, their great grandfather is a white man, a Scottish man, a European man.
Yes. But then what you said?
Not even exactly. Then you find out that their great grandmother or great down the line was either a servant in the house. That's now these house slaves bring forth a generation of house slaves like themselves. Now, we who are warriors, we who they say are independent nations, although it's a proper board when they say that we are independent, but we are the ones who literally pull at our spears and say, if we dead, we dead, but you colonizer will not live for tomorrow.
Let me say this big and serious. The overseas territories are a bunch of house niggers. Because what the British use them as is a buffer zone against their very people. I don't see nothing to be glorified when you have something called a work permit that is marginalizing people. When you have people who get up and believe that through their spending a US dollar, you must come there and work beneath them for little and nothing. And if you open your mouth about the injustice, you are victimized.
You know what I want to see, my brother?
Yes, sir.
You know what I would like to see? And I'm waiting to see the day when it happens. I'm waiting to see all my immigrant brothers and sisters wake the hell up, get up, pack their bags, catch the first boat or plane out of here, and leave.
That will come back
to you know what that is going to do? Hold on. You know what that is going to do with this community? They then will wake the hell up to realize that all the crap they've been talking all these years is just a part of the figment of their imagination.
No, my brother, they will still be sleeping because they've been welcomed by Jesus Christ.
When they have to get up and clean their own, when they have to get up and clean their own toilet and clean their own house and go to them yard and do their own work and go to them business place and manage it themselves, and when the pressure reach their ass, they'll figure it out. You think they'll have any pity for these assholes?
Kenny.
No.
Kenny, the Spirit just said, hear what the Spirit just said now? The blood run deep. That's what the Spirit just said now. The blood run deep.
Yeah, well,
it's true. And a lot of people want to feel sorry and talk about.
So they don't understand it.
Yeah, I understand.
The blood run deep, you know. So you know what the Spirit's saying right now? The ancestors, all their blood are touching each other right now under the earth. Hey, God, so don't must say that.
Well, it's even deeper than that, you know.
Hey, and they're going to force it to pain.
Yeah, well,
I don't want you to take your eyes.
Well,
I don't want you to, because whenever I say something, it always come to pass.
Yeah, well, Etta, let me say this big and serious. Because what was hidden from the wise and the prudent will have to reveal unto the babe and the suckling. Hurricane Irma was a last chance for the British Virgin Islands people who call themselves British, who are not British, who are actually slaves to the European Empire. And it's a disgrace that in 2022 we have brothers and sisters walking around with the atrocity of the British as a badge of honor. There is no honor being called a British subject. There is no honor being called a British subject. And these people hold it dear to their heart to be called a slave.
Yeah, to be called a belonger. To be called a belonger.
Hey, these people are not even citizens, you know. These people are subjects, you know. They don't even know. They go down to the governor's house all the time and watch the swearing in of people to become citizen. Then if you're not a citizen, you must go and find out what a subject is. A subject is something like a slave. You're like a package. You're the cargo.
A subject has no status, my brother, none whatsoever.
But these
which is why 99% of the BVI are into hospitality. Another word for hospitality is to go and serve somebody else. Who does service? Slaves, and instead they get paid a proper wage.
No, but I ask these brothers and sisters, especially in the overseas territories, what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose them soul? And when you check it out, the little boat we wanna have, and the little one apartment, and the little one car loan, and the little one business we wanna have, does that make you better than anybody else? Why you get up pushing the oppressor's agenda? You get up to oppress. When I see the people in this last rebuttal get this order from the British to force out our island people, because as much as these jackass don't understand, when you're born in the UK, you don't need authority to live down there. So there's a law that passed for them can't pack up down there now.
I know about that one. Yep.
And these jackass now don't say. Right now, these people are not first class, second class, third class, or even fourth class citizens in their own island, you know. The British, the American, the Syrian, and the Chinese, not to mention the Arabs. So they are actually sixth class in their own country. And the only kind of buffer zone that them have is their Caribbean brothers and sisters, and these jackass see it as a badge of honor to fight their brothers and sisters. My God, man.
Again, as
if you look at it, hey, the same people that are in every other class of citizen above those who are busy killing their own people are the exact same set of people who have divided Africa and gave miseducation. I hear them talking about, a Babylonian system, but then you hear people who are supposed to be bona fide dreadman calling to ask for equality in the same Babylonian system to send their children to get brainwashed where they talk about they were liberated from. We have people who call themselves conscious and they're still asleep.
I use Natalia as an example. Yo, Kenny, what you were going to say a while ago? Kenny?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
What is it?
The brainwashing is so deep. The brainwashing is so deep that I'm not sure as Sister Etta always say, wake up, may never happen. So us talking about it, I guess, among ourselves as enlightened people, it probably might make sense. But at that level, it's far gone, too deep to be comprehended. And when it is done, by virtue of the abolition of our status as a people, and I say our, because we're all melanated people who have sold our status as not only black people, but as belongers and whatever else we sell ourselves as. We have no status, we're not even seen as men and women. I wouldn't say human, for human is another species. That is where we are. And by virtue of the fact that we have accepted the abrogation and the abolition of our status, yes, and continues to do so in the face of the oligarchs who come here calling themselves our masters, right?
Proudly.
And they know that we have accepted a no position. You think it's gonna be? What do you think it's gonna take for them to treat the remnants of this territory like a bunch of jackass? All that they're doing now is using psychology and strategy on these people. You know, that's all they're doing.
King Kenny,
they're using.
You have a lot of people talking about slavery happened so long ago that we need to move on and everybody embracing this kumbaya nonsense. And I'll tell you this much. The spirit who is awake understands that death is an illusion because only the body goes to sleep and the spirit transcends and is joined into the realm of the ancestor, the seats of counsel. No.
Tell them.
When you have people of no talking about to get along with the same bloodline and reincarnation of different ancestors before them, carrying out the same agenda, these are a people who are more than lost and asleep. Because who are I'm the blueprint of my great, 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 great grandmother. I have all her attributes who I have never met. But when people see me, they could not take off the similarities between me and her, because every time I speak, they hear her, because it is her that actually resides, and it's her that came to this portal of life and to finish up something that is there to do, which is the fight that she was doing before. The white man who is there talking to you today is the same white man who was there more than 400 years ago.
Of course.
And he is still living and walking through his bloodline to accomplish what he started all these years ago.
What his fathers have created. They're still upholding the legacy of their fathers. And that is why we as a people are wondering, why are we deteriorating? We are deteriorating because the slave mill is still grinding. You know?
They haven't waken up. They're still sleeping. They haven't realized they're still slaves. They haven't every day I tell them that you are slaves. You're still going out there sweating your ass every day. Sorry for my bad language. Every day you're going for a little pet hunt. Working for the same little pet hunt.
The God of the white man is the devil for us. The angels of the white man are our demons. And we keep going to their institutions, and we keep accepting the lies that they have given.
I've been telling us for years, hundreds of years. I keep on wondering why you grow up, you get a brain, you could think for yourself, and you can differentiate between slavery and freedom. Somebody tell me why people still can differentiate between your sweet freedom and slavery. I heard one woman say today, I wish I could have hold a woman and kiss her. She said, I stop her and dancing by killing out herself in the same job for 10 years and more, because none of these jobs don't have no retirement plan. Most of them can't say, keep afloat to pay them the salary. They don't have retirement plan. You're working like slave at the end of the day. When you have your free land back home, your house, your water, you could pay $5 for it, you could pay $2 electricity. You understand? Why take that here? Why take that in our country? You still got to pay money here to still maintain back home when you could be over there living off of the earth and being free.
I just sent to the Joneses plantation. Watch it when you're done.
You understand? No, you see, I keep on asking them. They say you have 60 keys and islets here. You got so much blasted islands, and you can't go farming on none of them. You can't secure no foods, put no food security in place. Number 3, I keep on asking them. You have so many wells in the BVI. One man asked me, a principal dealing with some children here some days ago. He said, after all this knowledge you got in your brains, you need to run for politics. I said, I don't need to run for politics. The politicians, they need to take them ass and wake up. They need to wake up. You got resources in the country, use it. You got all these wells not covered, not protected. And when the United States said they ain't sending them shit water here no more, what are you going to do, cry? When you ain't taking and maintaining the wells them here?
I don't know why.
What's wrong with the people?
Etta, I don't know why you talk in the like say the British already running the island, you know. Are you listening, Etta?
That's right.
Etta.
They are. And
Etta.
agriculture
we need
that they were never
No. The only thing
you say the British running the country. Them politicians ain't tell me that yet.
Etta.
I seen it.
Etta.
I seen it.
Listen me.
I want them to come to tell
Listen me. They will never admit their fault. The thing about it is,
they caught Natalia in a lie when he was talking yesterday.
Yes.
You know what this man said? This man said that he will not say anything that he don't want to. And after a while, it was a bad dictator and ego and prideful piece of shit that was talking on the radio, you know.
You know the wickedest thing? Let me level with you. Anything where Freemason tell you, it is not trustworthy. A Freemason is not a person that tells the truth. And all that island is so small and infested by corruption that it's amazing. I tell you, I am afraid to come back to that island because you have people who know who kill people and still walk around as if they don't know nothing. And while I can live in a bigger island with criminals, to live in such a small place with these kind of dirty attributes is not a good thing. These leaders could have saved this territory, by putting themselves out because they know what they have done to the country. But instead of they come out, what they do? They hide behind the ignorance of the people and have the people them get up now and say some nasty things and make we on the outside say, they don't know better. They wear jacket and tie, they get good haircut, they drive good car, they live in a good house, but like them brain rotten. They don't talk nothing with sense. They know that they do people wrong, and instead of they try to correct the wrong that they do to people, them tell themselves, say, everybody do it, so nothing if we do it. This kind of carelessness is why society is deteriorating. Jamaica was once in this capacity, When I came to the British Virgin Islands, I was told I could have left my door open when I came in 2001, Etta.
Not anymore.
Etta. I could stop at the road and stretch out my finger and get a drive down to Road Town anytime, Etta. And I preach to the people, them say, try keep a place in this pristine manner. When I try to tell the people, them tell me, say, me bad mind. Yeah, try nyam our food. May I say, it's not about your food. If the British Virgin Islands fail, there's 150 nationality who call that place home. It will affect 150 nationality. But the selfishness of these 20 or 30,000 people who came before the rest of people them is so entrenched, it is disgusting.
It is because you look at it. Okay, from my standpoint, I was involved with a Totolian that, do a lot of nonsense, and I said, boy, this can't work, man. This can't work. No. Okay. I got involved with a Haitian. Okay?
Yeah.
And because I got involved with a Haitian, the people tried to crucify me. They tried to kill me, Me, been helping this country.
You in better hands with a Haitian,
Listen now. Sure, they try to kill me, Them do a sort of manner thing, boy, them do a sort of manner. Them lock me up, them put me coat, them do a sort of thing, them stain my name, them tell lie for me, a sort of manner things. But, the ancestors realized who fight freedom for all of us to be free. It was the Jamaicans and the Asians. So I have to big up and applaud them because without them we wouldn't have been free neither. So
and that is where the animosity lies, because the leaders go around and put a fear factor into the overseas territories. Them say that the rest of the island them a come to take one have, Be careful of them bad mind. Them only come here for no, but when you see, I can testify. There's people living in the British Virgin Islands who are working with people, and carry them home to their homeland and show them their dwelling place. And when they come back up, the person terminate the permit and say how much is them, why them build up house down there so, and it better than a house up here. This kind of nastiness.
Listen, my husband got land bigger than Tatola, got it. And every day cussing my ass. The man got land bigger than Tatola. Land my husband. The one that look down and snug up their face. The man have land bigger than 24 square miles, yeah? And every day say, what you want to stay here for? You see you can't prosper in this country.
Yeah, you can't prosper.
You got more land you could do, but you can't. Let's get from here.
Yes.
You understand? And I sit down and I said, boy, this man telling the truth. Because man got so much land that we could develop this and do that and whatever. And I said, but I from Tatola. He said, Tatola, you see Tatolans don't like them own self.
Yes.
That's what a man to tell me.
Yeah.
They don't like them own self because them They fight down their own people.
Yes, yes.
My God. But when I look over the horizon and I look outside and I look at all the buildings and the beautiful buildings, I say, I go and do a survey to see how much of them belongs to the outsider because we're the Tatolians. Them home in the mother house, they want to go work. They may want to go develop and build for them damn self.
No, because
now you have new buildings by social security pop up. And I could guarantee the own people ain't gonna give the locals. They gonna give the white man and the white woman them same big property them put up there on top of the hill.
Yeah, they're well
You're cutting
trained.
your own people short.
They're well
That's
trained.
what
you understand?
They would say stuff like, that people are coming here and they're buying up land. Black people, let me tell you, we don't come here and have interest in your land. I will say it again. We don't have interest in being a house slave. When we come here, we work, and if you notice, most people send their money back home to build their homes, and as soon as they are comfortable, they leave. They don't come back. They leave. Those who stay here are those who you will find somebody get a liking to them, they got married, and that's how these people stayed. And majority of these people who marry persons from here regret that they didn't build their place back in their own country, even if they were married to somebody from here.
Correct.
A lot of people have met me and we've spoken because I'm not the only person who's married to somebody from here. I've met other people and come in, look, I regret. I know of one person, he was married to his wife, have 2 grown kids, and he is from one of the islands. So he took the person to the islands to see what he has. So in the event anything happens to me, I want to show you what belongs to you and my children.
Right.
She took a plane and got here before this man and tried to go over to Labor and Immigration to pull this man's permit and to pull the status of the paperwork that she had for him. You hear what I'm telling you? This man got a whiff of what was happening. Someone called him he had helped, and they said, look, this woman over here trying to see how she could destroy whatever it is and whatnot because of. So he came and he put in his paperwork. When she was dragging her feet thinking that he didn't know, he got all his stuff lined up, and when she went now to do her dirty work, she's finding out that what she came to destroy, the man got without her. This is the mentality of people from here. I'm with you, so you have to build with me. And they think that, oh, you come here and you want to marry people from here for papers. The only thing that people have here that they want is a piece of paper. They're lazy, they're nasty, they have no ambition, they don't work, they don't do a damn thing. And it's the island people who come here that marry these people that actually take the shame out of these people's faces, help them build houses, help them develop a business, and actually put food on their table.
Yo.
So that's what I'm saying. How now you gonna talk about you big and high and mighty? Boy, you're pulling this. You ain't pulling nothing from the person. No? You're pulling the strength and the help from that family. You understand? You're going to destroy your own blasted ass people. I tell you, them a set of ass. Them a set of jackass.
That's
when them looking. This is what I was told in the spirit this morning. The blood run deep.
That's
because they're only seeing the surface, but they need to go deeper under the situation and realize when you're blocking a man from his status, you're blocking the family of your own people from striving. The
white man comes and the white man actually buys a piece of land. Another white person comes in. The white person who already has status will buy a piece of land on behalf of the other person in his name, but it's not him who's paying for it. Each one helps one. That's how these termites operate. The Chinese are the same way, the Asians are the same way, the Arabs are the same way. All of them are the same way. The only thing, let me explain, the worst thing to do is to make a freaking slave comfortable.
And this is what I'm saying, that them don't have get together with their own kind to get ideas to build themselves.
Because
all they want is stay down.
No, but you remember that Shireen Flaxseed don't talk about the crab in a barrel scenario. what we're seeing right now is who can be the best slave. Who can be the best slave? So you find Suwanda, Natalia have a brother up in England who he is doing a marvelous work to kiss the British ass. Benito Wheatley is kissing the British ass like a toilet paper.
Let me correct that. He's not kissing the British ass. His face is inside of the crack belly.
He's what?
His face is inside of the white man's crack.
Yes.
It's so buried you cannot see his face. He can barely breathe.
Yes. And hey, people, in case you're just joining us, we're talking about the British Virgin Islands. This morning I started out with the massacre that took place. We are going to get back in the last hour of that, the next 12 minutes. But I want people to understand that you are living in a place where racism is covered up by so-called democracy. Them crazy people who get up now and say they are scholars and doctors, because I don't know how come people start call Natalia doctor. Doctor of what? Where the backside him do to get doctor of crackhead? And that him a doctor of?
Thank you.
Him not do nothing for him people and put on the doctor. What kind of surgery he run? But these are the appellation that you get when you kiss the slave master ass long enough. The slave master give you an appellation where you walk around like a damn jackass with your head high in the sky and not realize that you are serving the oppressors. When I hear these, Mitch is a youth where I had a lot of strength in. Sherry De Castro, I thought she was for change. So Natalia, I thought he was for change. That little one with Patsy Lake up there, little rat looking one, I thought he was for change. All of these young generation has done worse than with the ancestors. Ralph T. O'Neill are rolling in grave right now. Not to mention the forefather, where did they before Ralph there? Mr. Stout, him a rolling in grave because him a say I can't them your people here come out of my bloodline. Because them your people here straight idiot.
All right.
Straight
You think them two leaders they know that you need the Caribbean brothers and sisters to keep them country running?
If
keep on working.
Yo.
You think that they know?
Yo, listen.
That them know that they need them brothers and sisters to marry somebody to help them build them.
No, but member
said
that is why they run away to Santo Domingo, St. Vincent, St. Kitts, and then go breed up over there. And that's why a lot of where they don't understand, they are fighting a losing battle as far as claiming BVI. Because if you look pan Jugo no come from Tatola. If you look pan several of the people them who call BVI home, who say them a belongers and Ray, their great grandparents is from other places. Sam Henry get up every day upon radio and say, boy, I from the BVI. Him father is from Antigua.
Yep.
Zine, you have heritage get up. Heritage father is from Dominica. Zine, you have all of these people who get up, who doing the master's bidding, and then telling us now who reach there and say, yo, you don't need it around here, so Mark Vanterpool is not from the British Virgin Islands. Mark Vanterpool is from Anguilla.
Yep.
Zine, we need to know these story where these house niggas who come over kissing the Caucasian ass and then telling our people they say, listen me, you ain't from here. What the hell do you think you is? Who the hell do you think you is a oppressed? Listen me. Hurricane Irma was just a prelude to what going happen. The island going to get an earthquake. And when you get an earthquake, trust me, neither the British nor these house slaves.
That's why the Holy Spirit just said the blood runs deeper.
Yes.
Because when it's split, it ain't just the BVI and those, is every man jack somebody go to get. Hey, they ain't understand me, but Lord, I'm begging today for mercy because I might be in the way too.
Yo,
Yeah,
I might lose my life, but I know you send angels to protect me.
Hold on.
God,
it's been a while since there have been tremors in this place. The tectonic plates under these islands are moving because the spirits of the abyss are they are in uproar because the amount of demons who live on the surface. Things need to get cleansed.
What I say is that sin is a small thing compared to an abomination, you know. And what these politicians are doing is an abomination unto the righteous. And no way is our Father going to be sit back and let these abominations multiply. You know, see every weapon that form against the righteous fail. COVID fail, New World Order fail, reset fail. So these these culprits will get up and after them and lead with people into the bottomless pit. They are going to fail. Right now, Natalia has written himself out of the book of life by going and selling. You know how angry the ancestors them are at this appropriate time. The ancestors are gonna beat him and him people them, you know. Don't be surprised if do not be surprised if him loved one them start drop down. Because of that with the ancestors them no ramp. And you see, because you see what them not take what happened to Andrew Foy as a sign. This is a sign, and you think it's a coincidence why Andrew end up in a jail cell where him there right now is because him rob him brothers and sisters $1,500 in a lie. Tell him say ma give them status when it not in a film position to give them no status. Cause him is a subject of the crown. And you think the ancestors
it goes deeper than that, you know, Ken. When he went over and he wanted people to take the
I'm not hearing you loud enough. You have to come. I know you're working, but you're far from your phone. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
I'm hearing you now.
Right. When he went and he decided to go into those different places to sell the blood of innocent people so that they could poison people with their nanotechnology and their gene therapy jabs.
Yes.
When they left people at Peebles to die, and persons were being left, and the blood of these innocent people were being taken one after the other. When I called one of these times on Heritage's show before I stopped calling there, I said, the blood that is on your hands will not go unpunished. Not one of you will escape.
None.
I called out Whitley, I called out Malone.
Yes.
And I told Natalio, you who have been stripped, you're not far behind.
Yep. You know.
Let me tell you, when you look at the chain of events of how things have happened, those people who are awake, and when I say awake, I mean that their eyes are wide open. Look at how quickly he got put in the seat of the mayor. And the UK is looking forward to working with him. Look at the words. We are looking forward to working with the new premier. What does that tell you? I will murder my brother to take his seat. Because there is no honor amongst thieves.
Hey, God.
Boy. You look at how when he has to answer certain questions, Massa jumps in and pets the dog nicely and answers on his behalf. And like a script, there are certain things he will say, and then anytime you ask him certain questions concerning his Massa, he then becomes egotistical. He starts to pump his chest up and begins to dictate what you can and try to make sure that you don't say certain things to him. Or people like me, he can't face fire. Because when I call, he always has to go. And I don't back down from mere empty-headed, soulless beings.
Aye.
The ancestors have spat on you. I am at full liberty to every time I see you, slice you down with fire
because the ancestors need to do away with you.
The ancestors are beat them, man. You know what I mean? Yeah.
This is only the beginning, you know. Things in the BVI are about to get much worse.
Well,
if you notice, they're quietly dissolving all the different government places. Because when I went on, I said I had a talk show that I went on, and I was telling them the first thing the UK does when they come in is that they dissolve different areas in government, and then they re-establish and put in who they want to. Oh, that can never happen. That was the response I got. You notice,
that's what they said.
The so-called unity government is dissolving each and every different area within government and putting now new criteria as to how these people are going to get employed to be put in the positions that they have dissolved.
The British have taken over about right up. You see the minute the government had signed off on this loan that they went up to. A lot of people didn't know that the loan that the British secure actually went into their budget. You know. Now, if you're gonna take a sovereign country and put them in your common budget, what does that tell you? That tell you that you're a part of their sovereignty and you don't have no sovereignty. And the jackass, when I look at David Archer, who I helped to put into the governor's house, you know,
David, let me tell you,
jeez,
David Archer is a fruitcake that you need to get past to the bottom of the
David Archer is a disgrace to our ancestors.
Tutti frutti. The man a left-hander, tutti frutti.
Selfishness. You know, these people are using all kind of mechanism to oppress our people, and it's shame to see that these are our said brothers and sisters. But I tell you, sometimes the blood of tyrants, sometimes the tree of liberty have to be watered by the blood of tyrants, and it's that day we're at right now. The tyranny that these brothers and sisters have bestowed on our people, we need to clear ourselves, because it is a very serious thing.
Okay, when you look at this, right, the time for waking up, those who have had to wake up have already woken up. Those who are asleep will remain asleep. Those who are caught in greed and illusion, that will be their grave. Right now, the war has already started, and it don't take many away, you know, because the amount that's going to be slaughtered, we might need a boat to row through the amount. You hear?
Yeah, remember the British, them did a plan for death already when Hurricane Irma strike. They did not bring food, you know, they bring body bags. I was there. Yeah, because yes, at the body bags, them not go back to the UK. Them just somewhere else store up there.
10,000 body bags.
Yeah, cause they know what they're doing. I tell us the only thing is going to build in the British Virgin Islands is a military base. The only thing is going to build in that country is a military base, because our leaders don't respect the location that they have. They do not respect the wealth of our people, and the people them have been living like squalors and peasants in $1 trillion economy. It's embarrassing. And then we have people like Mark Van der Poel still can't get up and go into the House of Assembly. People like those must be stoned, because guess what? They have robbed the wealth of the people, not even for their own personal gain, because what they call wealth is actually riches. Wealth and riches is two different things. Our leaders are too licky, and they're too small-minded about this global corporation that they're a part of. They need to realize, and the youths now who are waking up and seeing that they have been robbed, they're asking why society is deteriorating. These are the very reason why society is deteriorating. Because when these young people realize that they've been taken for a jackass, they are very angry and they cannot be controlled anymore. It's a sad day in the British Virgin Islands, because what they have to tell their children is not a good story. In the year 2022, our people surrendered to the British, and the British occupying our wealth. Is that anything to brag about, people? Is that anything to be your reputation have been tarnished because you have a premier, a former premier sitting in prison under the enterprise that he is a drug seller, which we know that it's because he loves high company why him end up in this. So he loves high company why he end up inside this. So and these people don't realize that every time they put out anything on social media, the first thing come to people's mind is that the drugs place? Is that where the dirty money spent? Is that where they hold on other island Caribbean people and don't give them rights? And these people are getting up marketing festivals, say, come to BVI. One time people come along, you know, they're not going to be honest. They're going to be they're going to know your dirty deeds, and they're going to figure more or less, say, you dirty, so me have to be more dirty. It is not a good look for the British Virgin Islands. And I said to these leaders, the best thing you can do for the territory, Mr. Wheatley, Mr. Mark Vanterpool, David Archer, Julian Willock, all of these club members need to put their resignation in a box and walk away, because this is not, you don't have the resource to fight the dragon that you're picking fight with, you know. You're trying to be nice to the British to tell them, say, okay, I'm going to be a good boy. The British come and tell us that they want to give good governance. Show me in the history books where on planet Earth have this empire ever given good governance. Where?
No.
Show me.
Never.
But you know,
never.
But
At
you,
present,
but
the
you,
UK government is in a hot mess because the amount of stuff that's happening in London with the Russian tyrants who have taken over most of London.
Yes.
When you look at the amount of corruption in Parliament, the amount of corruption that is happening over there, and I have several footages because I have a friend of mine, because I used to live in the UK at one point in time. I have people and family who still live over there. The corruption is so filthy. These people are one of the nastiest set of damn people on the face of the planet.
I have to cut it in a short while. But when you look at Mr. So-called Hickenbottom, right, have the audacity to say that the BVI needs good governance. No, you have a criminal governor sitting in the house down there, right? Who allows all the criminality to take place, you know. And then after the criminality take place, he can come up and say, well, I was watching, but I just didn't care. I was watching you doing all that atrocity, but I didn't care. And then you have a so-called leader like Natalia now. I don't know if he doesn't have a balls or what, but he go and surrender to these culprit now who... Yo, people, I am not crying. I have people down there that I love. But through the grace of the Most High, I know they're going to find refuge. But if Sodom and Gomorrah feel as if that they won't go down, I can assure them that Sodom and Gomorrah will go down and our people will survive. Our people will survive. Righteousness exalted a nation, people. Yeah. So, I don't know, last but not least, Kenny, I see you put on back your line because I have to go to Jamaica with this mother who lost her children, her daughter, and the 4 grandpit. Let me talk to her. Yeah.
Yeah, brother. I've been sitting on the back, and it's if this generation does not hold our nation accountable for the wickedness perpetrated against us, then Father is gonna send sources from anywhere in the world outside come in here and hold them accountable. So guess what? If the wickedness done in this territory to our people seem to have been going unnoticed, I am yet to say to our people, wake the hell up, because you're going to pay for every mistake you have done to our people over the years. The time has come for payment.
Yes.
It's time for payment. Time for pay.
Time to pay the piper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but doctor,
Yes.
you want your last word? What you want to leave with our people right now? Because the war continues. We're not stopping. Righteousness shall prevail.
The fire is passing. And for those who believe that they have won because they are sitting in seats that are made for the head of persons to be slaughtered, that theirs have not come off yet. We will all be sitting quietly and cheering on some of us as we watch the traitors get beheaded and the colonizer put to silence for good.
Yes. Etta?
Yes?
What do you want to say before we go over to Jamaica?
Well, people, the blood runs deep and it's mixing together. I talk in parables.
Yes.
Yes, the blood runs deep and it's mixing together. You're hurting your own people. You're not hurting the islanders. Because yes, they still have a place to go that they call home. But we are still stuck here.
Yes.
In a place that we can't make homes because we don't have no freedom of speech, no justice, no righteousness. Let your people be free. Set them free. I second what this gentleman said before.
Yeah.
Do the right thing.
Natalia, I know you're listening, Natalia. You're going to get a beating. Natalia, you're going to get a strokes or something because you're doing worse than Andrew Foy. And Andrew Foy was not chosen by the ancestors. You were chosen by the ancestors, but you're disgracing the ancestors. You're oppressing your people. You went to Africa before you went into the House of Assembly. And you said that you saw the plight of our people. Washasha died on your watch as a minister. And you have blood on your hand. You need to come clean, Natalia. I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going over to Jamaica to see if I can talk to this mother. I may have to talk to her tomorrow, but I feel her pain. I want to just encourage you all to continue the fire, all right?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is the British Virgin Islands right there. We had to deal with that, people. Sorry to cut into the fullness, but that is what's happening right now. We have a situation on our hands when it comes on to how our people are being governed. Every time I do this show, I try my best not to get too emotional to it, but yo, I am very emotional right now. Very, very emotional right now, because see the youth kill 4 youth there, plus the mother, and everybody I wonder why I'm doing it. We're going to find out. Touch the line right now.
Burn them all, yeah. Blazing, oh, 'cause I will never see, and I will never stop burning these fires non-stop. Yeah, oh, yeah. Alright. All the leaders, them will let the people down. I'm them holding on to showing them a drown. And the leaders, them will let the people down. They always let the people wear a frown. And the leaders, them will let the people down. Them trying to blame it on the dancehall and the artists and the sound. We got it to let the people down. Then ask the gate to use them on the sound. Yo, Babylon a speak them words, but we no love how them sound. That them see them wanna turn it in a gun town. No forget to you them turn in a gun clown. Gunshot a tear off them head crown. Well, every other day and next body them found. Well, in and them own a blood, missy said them drown. Who them boy I really wanted for clown? Them this last year I am profound and say the leaders them a let the people down. Have them holding and to throwing them a drown. And the big guys let the people down. They always let the people wear a frown. And the big guys let the people down. Try try to blame it on the dancehall and the artists and the sound. The bigger heads and let the people down, down. Alright then, wow. Promises are comfort to a fool. Babylon I said them a go build more centers and school. Although me there to see a share of decks, much less a stool, much less a yeah, wanna hear me now? Me never say a pencil nor a pen, much less a rule. How who them want take for fool, me can't fool. All the leaders them a let the people down. I'm them holding at the straw when them a drown. And the big heads a let the people down. Them drinking the people blood, them a blood down. And the big heads a let the people down. I'm them holding at the straw when them a drown. And the big heads a let the people down. Righteousness not on the youth, them in a clown. Wow. But get a youth not see from afar. Cause all the perpetrators war, yeah. And the youth them a fight over house and car. Who want for the superstar? Well I hear me see them we even sell you out if you and them a come from far. Man a red eye man over him on a car. Wow, walk one star. Yeah I hear me with the blood, hey. Boom. And the leaders them a let the people down. Have them holding at the straw when them a drown. And the leaders them a let the people down. Why they always let the people where we found, yeah. The leaders them a let the people down. Have them holding at the straw when them a drown. The leaders them a let the people down. Them try to blame it on the dancehall and the artists and the sound. Leaders a let the people down.
Is horrified and upset at this gruesome murder. It is the most gruesome crime that I can recall in recent times. The murder of a young woman and her 4 children. It is heartbreaking, heartrending. This kind of violence cannot be allowed to continue without a response, without action on the part of the government. The police commissioner and the Minister of National Security have both assured me that they have put all the resources in place to ensure that the perpetrator is caught. Already they have a suspect, a person of interest, and they have already good leads in capturing that person. You know, this kind of murder, this kind of gruesome killing shows the lack of respect and dignity and sanctity of life. It really shows how violence, the ultimate violence that of taking life, has become entrenched in our society.
This is not just a domestic dispute. This murder represents an attack on our civility, an attack on our sensibilities, and it is an attack on our nation. The police, the Minister of National Security has assured me that they are going to be putting all the resources into ensuring that the perpetrator is caught and brought to justice. I want to express my deep sympathies to the family of young Kenesha and her children, and to let them know that the entire nation is praying for them and surrounding them with love and support. I think this is a point where all Jamaicans should reflect on the level of violence in the society and how we have come to normalize violence, and that each and every one of us, how we rear our children, how we interact with each other, how we conduct our social transactions, we must all turn away from violence as a means of resolving disputes and conflicts.
Christ has gone up.
Yeah, while we work the lines, we're working the lines, people. Sister Scully. Gotta S out the building by 2 o'clock. 18 minutes after the hour right now. Hurry up, hurry up. Gotta head into the phone lines in the next 5 minutes. Hold on. You better hurry up. Hurry up and get ready to go. You better hurry up. Hold on, my people, hold on. Let's get
Mr. Jones owned a cotton plantation and many slaves. One day he was talking to the owner of the plantation next to his, and Mr. Jones was lamenting the fact that times were tough. He was having to work his slaves harder than ever and was having trouble with some of them being disobedient or trying to run away. The other plantation owner said he knew someone who could help.
Day 1.
One day, Mr. Jones called his slaves together so a man named Mr. Smith could talk to them. Before beginning, Mr. Smith whispered to Mr. Jones, "Whatever I say, do not contradict me or interfere, and I promise you your slave troubles will end." "My name is Mr. Smith," he said to the slaves, "and this may be the happiest day of your lives. From today forward, you will no longer be slaves, but free men." Mr. Jones was so shocked he started to step forward, but Mr. Smith gestured for him to remain silent. He did, only because the other plantation owner had spoken so highly of Mr. Smith's skills. "You are no longer the property of Mr. Jones," Mr. Smith continued. "You are free. No more will you be forced to labor for the benefit of Mr. Jones. Now you can work for yourselves." Now the slaves were all murmuring and looking at each other. Many were smiling, many were looking puzzled. "In fact, you are now free to leave the plantation whenever you want," Mr. Smith said. "However, since we are surrounded by other plantations, if you leave, some other plantation owner will likely claim you as his own the moment you set foot on his property. So I urge you not to risk your newfound freedom by doing something so foolish. Instead, I suggest that you stay here, no longer as slaves, but as willing participants and part owners of this plantation. Yes, this is now your plantation." Mr. Jones bit his tongue to keep from objecting. "For now, we might as well leave Mr. Jones in charge," said Mr. Smith, "since he is the only one with any experience at running a plantation, which is quite a complicated thing to manage. But he will no longer be your master, but just another worker on the plantation. In fact, he will now be using his organizational and management skills to serve you. Whatever problems you may have had with him before, you are now all equals, and you need each other to make this work. If we all cooperate and work together, we can all reap the benefits together. In honor of this happy occasion, I present you this new symbol of togetherness and cooperation, this flag, which shall be the emblem of the new free Jones plantation." He held up the new flag, but most of those listening were still too amazed to respond. "And this shall be our motto," Mr. Smith announced. "We work together as free men for our mutual benefit, pledging our allegiance to the Jones Plantation, which stands for prosperity, liberty, and justice for all. To celebrate, everyone has the rest of the day off. Enjoy your freedom, do as you please, and be back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, so that we may begin work on this great and noble new endeavor as equal free men." Finally convinced that Mr. Smith was serious, the former slaves applauded and cheered.
Day 2.
Wow. I'm getting some calls. Hold on, people. Let me take this call and see what's popping. Yeah, Grand Rising.
Grand Rising.
Grand Rising. How art thou?
I am good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
That's good. This is Efriama Kwan. We talked a year or so ago.
Oh, I'm live on my show right now, and
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Well, you called me while I was doing it live, but I could call you back when I'm through.
Okay. All right. It will be this. Will it be this 260-209 number?
Yes, I will call you.
All right.
Alrighty.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm ready to get my ID. This is why I'm calling.
Okay. Oh, beautiful. I'll call you back as soon as I'm finished.
All right, love.
All right, that is what I'm talking about. Please, that's the momentum for our ID situation that's going on. So let's get back to what the documentary was about now. My God. Mr. Jones and his slaves. Let's go.
Mr. Jones owned a cotton plantation and many slaves. One day he was talking to the owner of the plantation next to his, and Mr. Jones was lamenting the fact that times were tough. He was having to work his slaves harder than ever and was having trouble with some of them being disobedient or trying to run away. The other plantation owner said he knew someone who could help.
Day 1.
One day, Mr. Jones called his slaves together so a man named Mr. Smith could talk to them. Before beginning, Mr. Smith whispered to Mr. Jones, "Whatever I say, do not contradict me or interfere, and I promise you your slave troubles will end." "My name is Mr. Smith," he said to the slaves, "and this may be the happiest day of your lives. From today forward, you will no longer be slaves, but free men." Mr. Jones was so shocked he started to step forward, but Mr. Smith gestured for him to remain silent. He did, only because the other plantation owner had spoken so highly of Mr. Smith's skills. "You are no longer the property of Mr. Jones," Mr. Smith continued. "You are free. No more would you be forced to labor for the benefit of Mr. Jones. Now you can work for yourselves." Now the slaves were all murmuring and looking at each other. Many were smiling, many were looking puzzled. "In fact, you are now free to leave the plantation whenever you want," Mr. Smith said. "However, since we are surrounded by other plantations, if you leave, some other plantation owner will likely claim you as his own the moment you set foot on his property. So I urge you not to risk your newfound freedom by doing something so foolish. Instead, I suggest that you stay here, no longer as slaves, but as willing participants and part owners of this plantation. Yes, this is now your plantation." Mr. Jones bit his tongue to keep from objecting. "For now, we might as well leave Mr. Jones in charge," said Mr. Smith, "since he is the only one with any experience at running a plantation, which is quite a complicated thing to manage. But he will no longer be your master, but just another worker on the plantation. In fact, he will now be using his organizational and management skills to serve you. Whatever problems you may have had with him before, you are now all equals, and you need each other to make this work. If we all cooperate and work together, we can all reap the benefits together. In honor of this happy occasion, I present you this new symbol of togetherness and cooperation, this flag, which shall be the emblem of the new free Jones plantation." He held up the new flag, but most of those listening were still too amazed to respond. "And this shall be our motto," Mr. Smith announced. "We work together as free men for our mutual benefit, pledging our allegiance to the Jones plantation, which stands for prosperity, liberty, and justice for all. To celebrate, everyone has the rest of the day off. Enjoy your freedom, do as you please, and be back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, so that we may begin work on this great and noble new endeavor as equal free men." Finally convinced that Mr. Smith was serious, the former slaves applauded and cheered.
Day 2.
"We all want this plantation to do well," Mr. Smith said at the beginning of the next meeting, "so we can all share in the benefits. We all know that it takes a lot of effort to make a cotton plantation work. Just because you're all free doesn't mean you can stop working. In fact, since you're now working for yourselves, I expect you to work even harder than ever before, but now with pride and joy, knowing that you're working for yourselves. Of course, there still have to be rules. If everyone just does whatever he wants, the plantation won't produce anything. This experiment will fail and we'll all starve. You should be thankful that Mr. Jones has agreed to stay on to lend his knowledge and skills to this endeavor, and I trust you will all do your own part to make this work. Several of you have been chosen to act as project supervisors to manage different aspects of the operation, to make sure everyone is doing his assigned job, to make sure that the rules are followed, and so on. The rest of you may head out to the fields to start your first day of work as free men."
Day 3.
The next morning, Mr. Smith had a grim expression on his face as the daily meeting began. "I have an unpleasant duty to do today," he said. "Yesterday, Charles was caught keeping some of the cotton he picked, presumably to sell for his own personal profit. That is against the rules. That is stealing. For that, Charles must be punished." Two men tied Charles to the whipping post. "I take no joy in this," Mr. Smith continued. But you must understand, if we do not maintain order, if we do not have rules that we all abide by, then the plantation will fail and we will all suffer. The whip cracked against Charles' back. But if we all pitch in for the common good, then we can all prosper. Being free doesn't mean you should be selfish and greedy. We must each do our assigned duties and obey the rules, and then we can all benefit, and each of you will receive your appropriate share of the profits. A young man named Samuel stepped forward. But if you and Mr. Jones decide the rules and whip us if we disobey, how is that any different from what we had before? How can you say that? Mr. Smith asked. I'm shocked. You were a slave before, and now you're free. Things still need to be managed and organized by those best qualified to do so. Do you know how to run a plantation, Samuel? Well, no, he answered. But if we're free, why do we get no say in what the rules are and how things work? I'm surprised at your ingratitude, Mr. Smith answered. None of you know how a plantation is run, so you're in no position to be making decisions about how things are done here. You don't seem to appreciate all the things that Mr. Jones provides for you, from protecting you from all the outside threats you know nothing about, those who would come here, capture and enslave you, if not for Mr. Jones' protection, to making sure that you all have food and housing, tools to work with, that you're cared for when sick and injured, and so on. There wouldn't be a plantation at all, no cotton to pick, no land to plant and harvest, if not for him. You should be grateful that he's made possible the level of comfort you now have. Your lives would be far worse if not for him. Nevertheless, as free and equal participants in this endeavor, from now on at each meeting, any worker may have 2 minutes to ask questions or voice suggestions or complaints. With that, the workers all seemed satisfied and headed out again to the fields to pick the cotton.
Day 4.
I have a big announcement, Mr. Smith said as the daily meeting began. Mr. Jones' cousin is here, and not just to visit and see how our project is coming along. It has been decided that from now on, you will be deciding who will manage the plantation. Of course, this job can't be done by just anyone, but every 3 months we will have a special meeting, and this morning, and whatever the rest of us may think of his ideas and opinions, we are all free here, and that means we are all allowed to speak our minds. So, Samuel, you have 2 minutes. Begin. Samuel stepped forward, looking scared. I was excited when all this started, he began, glancing nervously at Mr. Smith and Mr. Jones. But don't you all see what's happened here? Nothing's changed. We're all still slaves. There were grumbles of disagreement from the crowd. They tell us what to do and whip us if we don't. They still make all the rules and punish us if we disobey. They let us make suggestions and complain about things, but they never really change anything. They let us choose between Mr. Jones and Mr. Johnson, but what's the difference? The situation stays the same. We do all of the work and they take as much as they want and decide how much they'll let us keep. They live in luxury, made rich by the cotton we pick. We do all the work and have to build our own huts, grow our own food, and take care of ourselves. They leave us just enough that we don't revolt or run away. This is not freedom. We're all still slaves. They've only changed the words they use, but nothing else has changed. They say we're all free and equal, but we're not. They command and we obey. That's not freedom. That's not equality. They say we're free to leave, but all that means is that we're free to be someone else's slave. Why should we work or obey the rules? We didn't agree to this. They made the system. They forced it on us. They control and rob us and call it freedom. They've deceived you into thinking that being able to choose which slave master you'll work for is the same as being free. It's not. Open your eyes. If you keep what you produce, they call it stealing. When they take what you produce, they call it sharing and fair distribution. Can't you see that this is all? Your time is up, Samuel, Mr. Smith announced calmly. At his gesture, two supervisors grabbed Samuel by the arms and led him to the whipping post. I'm sorry, Samuel, but you've broken the rules. There are rules against encouraging others not to work and encouraging others to break the rules. You're only hurting all of us with your discontentment and your complaining and your disobedience. The whip fell and Samuel let out a grunt. Without rules, without order, all would be lost. Without law, there would be chaos. We can't just behave as wild animals, each doing whatever he pleases. We must all follow the plan and all do our duty for the betterment of everyone. And those who do not must be punished. The whip fell again and blood flowed freely from Samuel's back. Samuel, it is you who are stealing from the others. When you don't do your assigned work, you are making more work for others. When you disobey the rules, it is you who are endangering the future of everyone else here. You are the thief. You are the criminal. You are the one trying to destroy the arrangement that keeps us all safe and prosperous. At every lash of the whip, the other workers cheered louder and louder, some yelling curses at Samuel. Being spoiled and selfish, you complain about everything, talking as if you're oppressed. But you are the one ruining things. You are the one keeping us from being all we could be. It is your greed and your rebelliousness that is hurting all of us. They all play by the rules, Mr. Smith said, gesturing at the others. What makes you think that you don't have to? You think you're above the law? There were loud yells of agreement as the whip fell again. We must maintain order, Mr. Smith proclaimed, to make this plantation great, to make it so that we can all be happy and prosperous. To have the society we want, there have to be rules. We all have to contribute our fair share to this great endeavor, and we cannot tolerate actions and attitudes that seek to undermine the amazing things that together as free men we have achieved and will continue to achieve. Mr. Jones was smiling as he gave Mr. Smith a pat on the back. The crowd was cheering so loudly that none of them had noticed that Samuel had died.
What you have been
Make it mean more love. My meditation going like a dove. Hey, oh, most of all they keep failing to fulfill the black people words. Hey, King Selassie, I'm hailing. And of them got trouble poor people first. Anytime now, Babylon them a go get a red Babylon a get friend. Anytime now, the prisoners them a go escape. Some must go bless, I go bless. Anytime now, police them a go get a red government a get friend. Anytime now, Babylon them must get a red. No countryman, enough of them run go shame. Oh yeah, I'd rather to be with the people I lead. Give them a daily strength and showing them a daily need. And I'd rather to see more love than grief. That's the only way they get a youth to go achieve. And I'd rather to be with the people indeed. Babylon system will come here so fi deceive. I'd rather to listen and after word receive.
Them a go cut the woman, the land them seed. Yo, congratulations to Sitani for a brand new baby. Yo, me have to left it here, so you know. I just called the mama tomorrow morning, God's dear life. We're gonna have the mother on. Babylon, your time a run out. Burn slave masters. Babylon get defeat. Babylon them a go get a red. Freeing Babylon I get freed. Calling out all of my revolutionary brothers and sisters. Rise up.
The prisoners them a go escape. Too long them there in their bed. Anytime now, Babylon them a go get a red. Man a figure repatriate. They make them satellite and them launch it a face. Mash up the ozone layer. Babylon a fake. Son a bun redder and a strip them face. Put them down low like a full of the earth. What you make the rasta man deal with them classes now mighty.
Yeah, make the Vatican know so all of the warriors them ready. Sometime the tree of liberty must be watered by the blood of tyrants.
Selassie, I'm here.
Once you're a tyrant on our people, we don't like you.
Anytime now, Babylon, them a go get a red.
Once you oppress our people, we don't like you.
Prisoners, them a go escape. Some must go bless, I go bless.
Once you rise up the price on the people, them we not like you.
Red government, I get red. Anytime now.
Go down, government, go down.
Oh, yeah, I'd rather to be with the people I lead. Give them a daily strength and showing them a daily need. And I'd rather to see more love than grief. That's the only way they get to use to go achieve. And I'd rather to
some of us don't want to fight, but some of us will fight.
I'd rather to listen and afterward receive.
Them a go cut the woman, cut the man them seed.
Yes, I perish, long time me see it. Black people back up and yard in the east. Tell the Indians to take a look for them chief. Tell the white man wanna Europe,
go ride and speak.
Hey, Rasta man no got no secret to keep. There will be a weeping and a wedding and a gnashing of teeth. Yes, in your town, no salon, don't go a reap. Come out in the clear behind wall, them a peep. Nothing for the white man, black man not wait. Black woman stop sweep the white woman street. He get to you go study Babylon technique. That's what me say, but he can get repeat.
At any time now,
Babylon them a go get a red. Red Babylon
I get free.
Get red. Anytime now, you're red of fire they go bless. Stop treat people like slaves. Anytime now, the prisoners them a go escape. Too long them there in their bed.
Anytime now,
Babylon them a go get a red. Man a figure repatriate. They make them satellite and them launch it a space. Smash up the ozone layer. Babylon a fake. Son a bun redder and a strip them face. Could they them look like all?
Bulla with the back.
What you make the Rasta man
deal with them case.
Ask them this question before it's too late. Babylon now why you don't your taxes waste. You know sister that you.
Yo, true me not take no spoils and benefit from them. Them can't do me nothing.
Them hold down black people fi send white people.
True they get.
Oh, Rasta man agitate. Revolution cause we must repatriate.
Anytime now.
Babylon them a go get a red. Free the government a get red. Anytime now.
You know why the government can get sprayed? Hold on there, hold on there.
Anytime now. Babylon them a go get a red. And Mr. Babylon you know say. Anytime DJ pull that up again. Pull it up again.
This is Rodney Price, aka Poor People Governor.
Cross, hungry, miserable.
Yo, warning to all of the government them.
Me ask the leader, him and the audience, we make poor people surrounded by danger. Lion, roach and giant mosquito. So which water we fill with bacteria? Whoever take a look down on the river Tanera, back to one see you, waterhouse can tire. Long time the MP.
They no come in, yeah.
And all the one we claim says she a counselor, grab 75%
and give we quarter.
Conquer the land, now we give we a haircut. Disconnect me light and chop off me water. To the kings of kings, well me know them shall answer. The lord of lords, well I am a sponsor. The lion from Judah, them well one conquer. The eagle and the bear and the queen and the daughter. He's a lassie and me know the whole of them alpha. Now them a go down to the flames and water. Sissy lassie, I no take it for no laughter. Poor people fed up. To your system, shake up your issue, gun for them big boss. Poor people fed up. To your system, shake up when every day they get a youth fed up. Some lost them roots, some forgot them culture. You study the past, them not know the future. Say them not take tell them, so them end up so vulgar. Them don't know Selassie I from Ethiopia. Serious as me man, take me for any joker. That same man make me hold them notes. Me no play them casino, me no play them poker. Them plan to destroy me with the coke and drugs, yeah. No gravel is just like a them barracuda. Plan to lick run it with a funny piece of scooter. You think them like to see we not them hot carrier. With them hot girl, yeah. I sing them song, yeah. Them song ya tongue and them fire and hope, yeah. Me go hang Popal with a piece of rope, yeah. Just become me fed up. Two of them systems shake up, me get to youths, them no stop from there. Me say me fed up. Two of them systems shake up, them me show gun for the youths, them boss. Ask the leader, him a the arranger. Him make poor people surrounded by danger. Lion, the roach and giant mosquito. So with water we fill with bacteria. Whoever take a look down on the river from near a jungle and TG. Back to one Kentoya. Long time be MP, him no come near you. And the other one make claims that him a come slow. Grab 75% half a week quarter. Come on the land now one biggie we are here. Disconnect me light and cut off me water. For the king of holy.
Hey, I'm a DJ, pull that up again. Pull it!
Caribbean region, original director or dictator, as it were, to facilitate the depopulation of the Caribbean region as well as the recolonization of Africa. She has signed open skies agreements as well as trade agreements with Africa to facilitate the movement of cargo vessels as well as aircraft and so on out of the Caribbean to Africa. And all of these appearances that you see her doing are the precursors to her taking up the position at the United Nations that she has been awarded as the Caribbean region original director or dictator, as it were, to facilitate the depopulation of the Caribbean region as well as the recolonization of Africa. She has signed open skies agreements as well as trade agreements with Africa to facilitate the movement of cargo vessels as well as aircraft and so on out of the Caribbean to Africa and vice versa. And one of the agendas is the depopulation or the repatriation of Caribbean nationals back to Africa. The country of Ghana is currently being set up as a concentration camp economy. And the architect of that plan is building 111 state-of-the-art so-called rehabilitation hospitals in Africa to facilitate the transfer of human cargo from the Caribbean back to Africa. This is the reason why she went to Africa in 2019 and buried the bones of some of a so-called slave there. Okay, that was the symbolism to initiate the program. And it was sponsored directly by the IMF, the World Bank, and the Bank of International Settlements, and so on. At the end of the day, people of the Caribbean can completely derail this program simply by exposing it and putting the necessary plan in place to stand up and take issue with it. And the problem that we have is that the minute that she steps down from Prime Minister of Barbados and takes up the position at the United Nations, she has the ability to use the pandemic treaty that the Caribbean islands have signed on to completely lock down every single island and force people into compliance so that she can move them. And that is precisely what her agenda is. And people who do not believe that, and people who think that I'm talking nonsense, only have to do the right level of research and you will discover it. Okay? The same architect of the rehabilitation of the Ghanaian medical economy into a concentration camp economy is the same one she hired to build the slave museum right here in Barbados. Sir Richard Ajay is the British Ghanaian elite national figure that owns Ajay Associates, which is the architectural company, and he has been contracted to build this slave museum that's supposed to be built out there in Newton somewhere. Okay, that's where she dug up the bones from. At the end of the day, the connections between the Caribbean and Africa are very real. She has put all of these plans in place. You would have noticed that no less than 6 African prime ministers have visited Barbados in the last 8 months. And at the end of the day, there is a situation that will develop either through pandemic treaty initiations where there will be false pandemics and so on, or fabricated, engineered geo-climate events like major hurricanes or earthquakes or something like that. And then she says, oh, you need to leave the island. And she will pull up with the ships and the aircraft and everything, and everybody will think that this is the best thing since sliced bread, and off to Africa to go, never to return. If you think that I'm talking a bunch of shite, then think carefully about exactly what is happening in Africa. And I will invite you to visit a website called thegreatgreenwall.com and investigate that very clearly, okay? I mean, it looks like a wonderful project at first glance, but what it actually is the globalist division of Africa, where the North African deserts will be turned into the greatest concentration camp or exile extermination facility. So in other words, if you do survive passing through Ghana or any one of those other West African countries, you would be exiled to the North African desert. Yes, it sounds completely and totally out of this world and completely crazy. But once you connect the dots and you understand what is happening, then it starts to make perfect sense. Have a good day, brother.
Yeah, this is where I'm going to leave you today, because there's so much things happening. I'm going to make a link to Jamaica tomorrow, people. The British Virgin Islands take over all the show. And I have no regret, because there's a lot of things going on. That was about Mia Motley, her agenda. A lot of people are saying that she's a good person. We can see through all of the ism and schism. Okay? So, until tomorrow, I love you, my brothers. I love you, my sisters. More important to the Almighty God that created heaven and earth, love even more. If you cannot be good, be careful. Until tomorrow, Jah guide.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.
None of mercy, all of the stuff on me, I call them studio. This one reaching out to all the leaders and the media. This is Rodney Price, aka